Boys and girls, sports are finally back. Hockey's finally back. Basketball's back next week. And I want to tell you about the easiest way to get some action on sports. It's Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. They keep it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your entry, get every pick right, and take home some cash. Use code 10K and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. Once again, that's code 10K on the Underdog app or go to www.underdogfantasy.com.
On this episode of It's a Bit, we have a variety of Minnesota sports topics to talk about. The Twins have been eliminated. The Vikings beat the Bears over the weekend. The Wild are back. Gophers play Iowa. We're also going to go into our bits of the week, as always, including a 10K legal update. We have some legal things going on right now. And we're going to end the show by drafting our favorite sitcoms. So all of that and more on It's a Bit.
To the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Never stand still, that's the motto. Yeah, brand new bands for the auto. Oh, foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Damn, y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by producer Cam, journalist Jake, and if it sounds like we're inside of your ears a lot better, it's because we just upgraded our mic system.
I was just thinking, you sound so good today, and I really don't know why.
I know. Well, okay, actually, that's twofold. A, because now we're each talking in $500 mics rather than like $50 ones. And B, because that cold I had for like a month is gone finally. I think even last week I sounded plugged up, and the week before that I really sounded like death. So we're back.
Yeah, good thing we didn't have those a week ago, because you could really sound like you could really hear the regurgitation of your cold or something like that.
Yeah, you probably those old mics were so cheap it could probably pass germs through the audio waves, whereas these ones I think prevent that, which is great in these dire times.
Yeah, I would hope that you hear a difference. Otherwise, well, then fuck it. We can just say we have really nice mics if you don't notice it.
I hope we kept the receipts.
Well, it's fine.
I kept the receipts. They're bundled up in a drawer full of other random cables, so they shouldn't get lost whatsoever. But we're also watching the Wild game right now. They're beating Montreal 2-rip at the end of one. Potentially Marc-Andre Fleury's last game in his home city. And apparently the Wild are just better with 4 players rather than 5.
We love the 4-on-5.
Well, yeah, the penalty kill is rock hard right now. It gets me hard. Okay, like literally 2 goals off of a shorthanded. This is unheard of. Like within like 30 seconds or whatever. Like that's incredible. So
I mean, we kind of did it last year. It's always Duhaime and Dewar or Mason Shaw, who's obviously not healthy right now, so he's not on there. But he wishes he could have been on a little odd man rush with the fellas.
That's 2 goals from your fourth line too.
Yeah, well, it's crazy.
Sick.
It's funny to think that our shorthanded play is probably better than our power play,
or even our 5-on-5.
Yeah,
remember last year when our 5-on-5 percentage was like the worst in the NHL?
Yeah,
we still had a playoff spot.
Yep, it's because we found ways to like score shorthanded, or I don't know. I have no idea.
We're a very special teams oriented hockey club, Jake.
I think exactly. I think where we actually had our best advantage last year was the 4-on-4.
Yeah,
we literally If we had, for whatever reason, got into a 4-on-4 situation on the ice, we were scoring, and no teams could beat us. If they just switched to 4-on-4 halfway through the season instead of 5-on-5, we probably would have won the Stanley Cup.
Yep,
true. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, no,
so change it now.
Yeah, let's just do 4-on-4. 4-on-4 is more fun to watch, anyways. I've always recommended, and I think they were working on one of these before COVID, but that hockey should just be 3-on-3. I think for the fans, it's way funner to watch 3-on-3. Now, I know you basically eliminate positions through 3-on-3, but it's just all out fucking war with 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's just a shit show. I think what they should do is maybe not change the NHL to 3-on-3,
but they should do a league.
They should definitely do a league.
What they need to do, I know the All-Star thing, they have like a tournament for the divisions of like 3-on-3, right?
All-Star is,
I think it is.
Yeah,
it is. That's right. Yeah.
Instead of having divisions, they need to do a draft. So then you just have like, you could have like Austin Matthews, Kirill, and some other dude on the same 3-on-3 team.
Well, yeah, sick. I just think that eliminates the all-star aspect to it.
Nobody cares anyway.
I still like retain. I'm an old school person. I loved it when it was Western Conference versus Eastern Conference straight up game back when I was a
full
kid.
game?
Yeah, it was
The
a full
three
game.
games way better.
That sounds awesome.
No, that was awesome back in the day.
A
It was
full
great.
game?
Yeah,
Cam,
full game. Western Conference back in the day, and you should have saw the jerseys, like the Western Conference jerseys and Eastern. They were beautiful. It was, I think they should retain at least some. I love the 3-on-3, but I don't think they should go to like what the NBA does with the draft and have captains. I think that eliminates representing your division or conference where you're from and having divisions play against each other.
No one's gonna watch that. That's why they switched.
I would watch it.
I know.
watch
I know.
it.
Like all of us probably would, but like.
Well,
that's why they don't do it.
But I think a lot of people are watching the 3-on-3 right now, and I love the division aspect.
Yeah,
Division
they're
versus
watching it now.
division.
But I'm saying if they went back to a traditional game, no one's watching that.
I'm not saying go back to that.
Don't worry. The Saudis are already working on a way
Yeah.
to get to sport wash hockey. They're going to start a 3-on-3 league. They're going to pay Connor McDavid like $100 million. They're going to pay Connor Bedard probably $50 million. They'll probably pay Kirill Kaprizov $75 million. It'll be a 3-on-3 league, generational wealth. The NHL will not have enough capital to keep up. They'll steal all the players. It'll ruin both leagues, and then they'll end up merging.
What they need to do.
That's never happened in a sport before.
Bettered.
Never. What needs to happen is that Ice Cube needs to make Big Three the hockey version, and it's like old NHL players. So we have like Teemu Selanne and Biz going after each other 3-on-3. Now that would be fun.
Or even just do AI version of that. But all right, we'll get into the Wild. Let's back up though. So last week we said we hoped by the next time we were recording It's a Bit that the Minnesota Twins would be playing Texas in the ALCS. I think a lot of us knew that was not the case, and we have been eliminated.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it's also like they won a game. They won 3 total playoff games. They won a game in the ALDS, which is what I was looking forward to. Yes, they won a series, and I was looking forward to them just to win one game in the ALDS, which they had not. I wanted them to break that streak too. They had not won an ALDS game since 2004, because the wild card series was just added, but I still count that for sure. But like. It's just how it is. This is, you have to expect that there are people like that were almost like in almost convinced they were going to go to the ALCS and are like super depressed. I'm like, we had just lost 18 straight playoff games or whatever it was in almost spanning 20 years.
Yeah.
And it sucks that we get it that far, but it's like, come on. I mean, the Stros have made it to the ALCS now 7 straight years. Like they're just
they're a
powerhouse.
dynasty.
They're
a dynasty. It's time we start saying the D word. They're a dynasty. As much as we hate them.
The good thing is though that the Astros are currently getting throat fucked by the Rangers.
Yeah, throat fucked. Yes, indeed.
Here's a stat for you guys. I think this was going into game 2 or 3 of the ALDS. Carlos Correa had a .457 batting average in the playoffs, and the rest of the Twins averaged a .184 batting average of the playoffs. So,
but he's too much money.
But he's too much money, and like no one pays attention to what he does in the field because that doesn't matter. Wrong. All the Correa haters can sit the fuck down now. He's almost like a Sergei Bobrovsky. He's like, I've done so many regular seasons that I'm just gonna chill and coast until I'm in the playoffs. And you know what? He gets paid enough money. He deserves it. If you can show up and play like that in the playoffs, pay him whatever he wants.
Korea.
Because look at the entire Dodgers roster. They were the absolute opposite. Like tons of guys who played well during the regular season who were shit in the playoffs. Just find a bunch of Correas. And look at all the guys Correa played with in that World Series where they cheated. Those guys are all doing the same thing. They played pretty mid most of the year, snuck their way into the playoffs late, and then ended up just going on a run, just like hockey teams do. It's a totally different sport. So.
It's so dumb. Like, I hated the cheating thing, and I hate the Astros for that forever. But I still think they win at least 1 or 2 of those they win that World Series even without cheating.
Yeah,
that team was sick.
Yeah, they didn't even need to cheat, but they did.
They clearly proved it in the last few years. They didn't need to cheat because the
Wild are on the power play. I'm sorry, they should purposely commit 2 penalties right now. So
the PP,
they go 4-on-3.
4-on-3, but they're at the disadvantage, right?
But I guess that's not 4 players though. We don't want to be down. We don't want to be down to 3 players though.
Yeah, but I don't know. We seem to be
maybe we're even better. Maybe we're even better with 3 players
because it opens up the ice even more.
We should purposely go. You should text Bill Guerin now. We need to purposely try 5-on-3. We need to get experimental. 4-on-4 is that good? We could probably score a hattie 5-on-3.
Yeah, I think we need to start. We need to start experimenting to see how far we can go on the shorthanded.
It's time to start the conversation.
It's time to start the conversation.
It's time to start the conversation that the Wild can they legally by NHL rules just start 4 players when you start the game.
Up and down this roster, you may look at it and say, is this Wild team special? No. Is this Wild team capable of winning with only special teams? Hell yeah.
They are now on a 5-on-3 power play.
Yeah, I just
now
saw
we're
that.
so
I
now
guess,
we're going to give up a goal.
yeah. I was gonna say that goes against the algorithm.
Yeah, this is totally fucked. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to text Bill Guerin that this isn't gonna work. We can never go on the power
I could
play.
see us not scoring at all on this
No.
entire power play though. Between the 5-on-3 and the odd man advantage, I could see us not scoring.
If
a
we
goal.
don't
120.
score, I'm going to have a word with Darby tonight.
Oh, geez, we just scored.
Okay,
though.
we scored.
Beautiful.
We scored. Okay, maybe. Okay, the algorithm's broken. We'll back to the drawing board.
Ariak.
Turns out we're also good on the power play, not just the penalty kill.
but maybe 5-on-3 power play.
correct.
We have to see more 5-on-4.
Real quick before we move on to our regularly scheduled programming,
Oh.
Jake, can we get an announcement on that goal?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
With these beautiful mics.
Joel Eriksson
Was
Ek?
it Eriksson Ek? All right. But they're in Montreal.
That doesn't
okay.
matter. We're home.
That's never stopped
I
you
feel like I'm
from,
gonna blow
from
your-
yelling.
You're right. You're totally right. That was a dumb observation. All right. Scoring for Minnesota. Number 14, Jules Eriksson Ek. I don't know how many goals he's had this year.
Oh
so I
yeah,
didn't
brother.
say.
That might be his first. Oh no, he had the power play point in the game.
You're
we went
right.
to
Well,
against
now
Florida.
that every single driver just
Yes.
got into a car
Oh, do you know they're
crash,
driving?
That's when most people listen to podcasts, Jake.
Oh.
or when
What
they're
about
mowing
at
the
work or in
lawn,
the
they
office
just,
or
they
mowing the
just
lawn?
mowed over their foot.
Everyone just crashed their car, and everyone
while
in
they're
this
hunting.
office area, if they're still here, hates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
well,
right.
it's after hours.
It's after
Remember,
hours.
remember that was an issue with our with the Prior Lake studio. Was she was like, well, as long as you guys are after hours, it's fine. And then we'd be loud and shit at
Yeah.
7 p.m. And well, we got a complaint from the neighbors. We're like, but we were in after hours. It was the after hours term was
The
just
after hours bit.
It was a fugazi. It just didn't. It wasn't a real thing. It didn't exist.
Apparently, because we got in trouble a shit ton of times, but still, it's after hours. We're applying that now. It's after
Yeah.
hours, so we're fine.
This is St. Paul too. If you hear yelling, you shouldn't. Your first reaction shouldn't be, "Oh, I'm angry now because someone's being loud." It should be, "It's probably a crackhead."
It's a normal day in St. Paul.
Exactly. It's
I mean,
a normal Tuesday night in St. Paul.
especially in this area. Yeah, you hear some people singing, laughing, screaming.
Okay, but a few more notes before we close out the Twins talk. We did get the 6 p.m. game for Game 4. It did not work.
No.
The Twins couldn't get the bats going other than Royce Lewis. A couple solo shots here and there, which was fun, but just simply not enough. It was just another frustrating game where the pitching actually worked, but the hitting was just fucking horrendous, which always seems to happen when we play the Astros in the playoffs. And it sounds like Sonny Gray might not be coming back.
He's
Cam.
not back for sure. That was pretty much set in stone at least halfway through this year. He's gone.
Okay.
He pretty much said his goodbyes, is what they said.
So the sunny side up shirts should probably go on clearance in the 10K take store.
yeah, roll back, save $2.
Yes.
Yeah, no, a rebate. You get a rebate.
Yeah, mail it in.
Yeah, mail in a rebate.
Mail in a rebate. Yeah, just mail in like $10. Or wait, no, you have to mail in a piece of paper, and then we'll just light it on fire. And we
Mail
won't
it
do
into
anything
like
with
One Twins Way or whatever their address
Yeah,
is.
or,
See if they'll
uh,
give you a rebate.
Or do like the Nathan For You bit, make him climb all the way up the top of a mountain and put it in a mailbox.
to cash in the rebate.
Yeah, cash in the rebate. We should do a whole bit with that.
That's like
Yep.
it pisses me off. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a liquor. Obviously, been to a liquor store, but like you go to the counter and like you buy a case of beer and then you look on the counter. There's like a flyer like, oh, you could get a $2 rebate if you mail it in and wait 3 weeks. Like, why would I ever?
Yeah.
The only time there's an advantage to that, and I normally would not have an opinion on this matter because I'm not an alcoholic, but for my brother's wedding, my parents bought all the liquor for it and then hired bartenders, which is actually way cheaper than doing a whole package through like a catering or a bar company. And they got it at Morelli's down the street, the Italian liquor store that has bulletproof glass in front of the cashiers. And anyways, no, great spot though. But anyways, they bought like 30 cases or 30 bottles of vodka and 50 bottles of whatever. So in only the event where you're buying enough alcohol to kill a fully grown horse is when you should be is when the rebates are actually worth it, is what I'm saying. So you have to buy in bulk. But yes, if you're buying one case of beer and you have to mail in that rebate, it's time to question some of your life choices.
Did you just call me an alcoholic?
I mean, no.
Why do you do the mail in rebate?
well, no.
If you actually mail it in, then you're an alcoholic. Or
No.
if you go to the meetings.
Yeah, I don't go to meetings.
Okay, then you're
So
not an
an
alcoholic. Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
And I
You gotta
don't
go
do
to-
rebates.
You have to go to the meetings to be an alcoholic, no matter what else you do.
How about also the fucking rock star at the Twins game who was on Fox 9 before Game 3, who was rocking a Kaprizov Twins hybrid jersey and then just had 2 empty beers?
Yeah,
Rock star shit.
That's a hockey guy.
That's a hockey guy.
that guy was, I guess, knew he was there to watch the Twins, but he knew it was their end.
Yep.
End of the season, onto the Wild.
He was there for the funeral.
But that's strange.
But
That's such a weird jersey to get. I don't know.
He was the physical version of the transition process, right?
Yeah.
Because he was wearing the Twins Kaprizov jersey, basically flaunting that the torch was being passed from the Twins to the Wild.
Yes.
Because the Vikings, let's be honest, haven't been exciting anyone lately.
No.
And the Gophers were off this week, and they haven't been very exciting either. So this guy showed up wearing the Twins jersey as he was passing the torch to Kaprizov in the Wild.
I'm really not trying to go off track again, but I could see it through Jack's camera. I'm pretty convinced that the Wild are playing a Hockey Finder team tonight because they're on the power play again.
Yes.
Cole Caulfield's back in the
sin bin.
This team almost beat
penalties.
Toronto though last week, and we got fucking boat raced by Toronto.
Doesn't make any sense. And then
no,
Toronto gets absolutely quote unquote throat fucked by Chicago.
by Connor Bedard.
You know what, though?
Bedard.
Yeah,
It's not weird.
it
What's
is
not
wild.
weird? Oh yeah, you're right.
It's not weird. It's wild.
Thank you.
But it's also can be.
How
weird.
about the school bus commercial? Fantastic content.
So
on the Wild.
good.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I love that. That was great.
And then you had Gus. Howdy, boys. With his like Swedish accent.
I know, dude. Like that. We were waiting for that. I mean, that was bound to happen.
So here's a funny comparison I thought of, Jake. So you know all the dumb shit we've done in our goalie gear, including play each other in golf on a golf course in our goalie
Yes.
gear? We did that for absolute free, right? Like no one paid us to do that. We drove down to Apple Valley. We put all that stuff on. We went out and played a hole of golf with our goalie gear. Got mocked by the public. Philip Gustafson gets paid $3.5 million a year to be a professional hockey goalie, and part of his obligation is doing media and content like hopping on a bus in goalie gear. Cool. I make all the money. I get to be in the NHL. That's totally worth all the work.
Yes.
He gets paid $3.5 million a year to do shit like that because someone tells him to. We did it for absolute free. So that's kind of a tough look for us that we just went out and did that just because we wanted to.
Yeah,
We're not getting paid anything to do it.
But I guess maybe that just shows our values. We don't need to get paid to do shit as goalies. But if someone is willing to pay us a few $1 million, we'll do anything. I
guess for the love of the game, that's why we do it.
For the love of the game of golf and hockey. But I mean, imagine what we would do then if you did pay us.
Yep.
Who knows? If someone's out there willing to give us $1 million, I mean, maybe the sky's the limit. I mean, I don't know. People have fetishes for goalies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wearing the equipment. That sounds fucked up. I'm not going to do any sexual shit, but
Jake just shows up wearing his full goalie equipment, then he just has a dildo stuck to his mask.
oh, jeez, that'd be so weird.
All right, you want me to get in the reverse VH,
Oh,
baby?
man. There's someone somewhere in the world where that's their only way to, pleasure themselves. I don't know.
Give it a little poke check.
Yeah, a little poke
On the
check.
breakaway?
Yeah. Oh yeah, say poke check again.
Maybe a blocker to the face.
Oh gosh. Yeah. A poke check.
By the way,
yeah.
random goalie thing I was telling Jake about before the podcast, Cam. Some guy on Twitter just DM'd me and asked if I could sub for his beer league team on Thursday. I was like,
telling you.
this guy has only seen me play through a few videos, and he's like, hell yeah, we're gonna have beer for you and everything. He's probably gonna tell his team, I found a goalie for tomorrow night. Oh, cool. Who is it? It's Bossman from Twitter. Who?
The 10 Lakes.
He's part of he's part of the 10 boys. Who? Okay, he plays goalie. Okay, sounds good.
So then you're going to show up. Like I said, you're going to show up, and then they'll be like, dude, you never told me you had the 10K takes guy. Like I did. No, you said the 10 take guy.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
And it's going to be so confusing.
Was it a Maple Grove by chance?
No, it's Minnetonka.
Oh, I might be subbing to Maple Grove on Thursday.
It's Tonka. Oh, what if you were playing?
What team is that for?
I'm on like the Hockey Finder Facebook thing, and they need a sub for a level that.
Oh, see, there you go, Cam. Look at you.
I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. But
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do it.
Go above and beyond.
You say it's a level above where you're playing?
No, it's a level that I am playing. So
Oh, okay. I was going to say if it's a level above, I'd be
No
like, go
chance.
for it. No, you got to do it. Maybe it'll force you to stop unconsciously.
I don't even know what level this skate is.
Subconsciously.
But,
Also-
I hope it's not like a 4 or 5. I guess it's better than playing the board, but I don't want to give.
Is
up
it a
17
game or a
goals.
scrimmage or
It's a game.
Okay.
Side tangent on Hockey Finder. In that group chat, Brandon Molesky from K-Fan posted on there that he needed a sub because apparently he plays Hockey Finder. His
Yeah.
level is 3.8 to 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so
He
that's-
must have played hockey.
Dude is
then.
just a grinder.
That's the top level. Yeah.
Crazy.
Or he just
Yeah.
moved his way to the top, starting from the bottom and the Hockey
Cam,
Finder and
ask him
moving
if
his
he
way
can
up.
mentor you. Say you want to become the CEO of Hockey Finder.
Yeah, if Darby doesn't show up, then
True. He still owes you a
he's
one-on-one lesson.
we're gonna make that happen. All-Star break, baby.
Fixing Cam. a series by Darby Hendrickson.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be a documentary.
Assistant coach of the Minnesota Wild.
They
It's
put
just
it
on
the,
Netflix.
They put on the Wild YouTube feed. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Everyone's like this. And then people comment, they'll be like, wow, the Wild really just reaching with this one.
Dude, if it's like a new release though, like I could see it under the new releases of Netflix, and the cover image is just like a picture of you when you fell down and looked given up on the ice.
No, Cam, I know you always make fun of yourself for this, and you've done it plenty of times on this podcast. But imagine if they struck it up as like a Make-A-Wish thing. Like, Cameron's loved hockey his whole life, and he really wanted to play it and just started this year. And Darby Hendrickson took some time out of his busy schedule of being the assistant coach of a professional hockey team to help Cam play the game that he loves, and they play "And It's My Wish" by Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
Well, the cover photo could be that picture from last week, Jack, where I just totally got into a shadow boxing match with the boards, and I just sat on the ice afterwards.
God, I was laughing so
See,
hard.
I have a
at that.
massive bruise on my arm from that, by the way.
I wasn't there, but I just can picture it because I saw a little bit of it when we were playing in the floor hockey boot hockey at the XL Energy Center, and you just literally were a good probably 5 yards out from the boards, and you just let yourself slip. You just let yourself slide in, like you're like just take me.
Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was another time too where there was like a 2-on-1 and you were skating down the right side, and the puck came to you, and you fanned on it, and then you just kept skating, and then you just went straight into the boards. You didn't even
give up.
You didn't even turn. You just you just went fucking full speed ahead directly into the backside of the boards.
I don't know what you want me to do. My controller died.
That literally your controller died. That's a great bit.
There's nothing I could do there.
Dude, or you just teach
my
yourself
God.
then and there to stop. You just do it.
Oh, my controller
Okay?
died. Dude, I was sitting in the opposing goal, and I was fucking...
Dude.
I was already laughing, and then literally, I think, was it the same shift or the next shift?
Same shift.
When you just fell backwards into the boards, it was so loud, and it happened so abruptly. I was crying of laughter.
I was so excited to get my first hockey bruise, but I didn't want it to be that way. I don't look like a badass because of that.
By the way, fucked up of Montreal to score on Fleury.
That's crazy.
He's literally
That's treason.
He's literally inspired goalies from that town like me to start playing hockey, and the fact that they just score on him in his own barn, it's fucked up.
Yeah, they don't respect hockey at all.
You can't
Those
take from the hand
Montreal
that feeds you.
assholes. Fuck
Wow,
them.
that was a nice goal. Okay, last thing on the Twins, the burning of the Homer hanky happened.
It was the ceremony, I guess, to end the season, officially burning the Homer hanky. It wasn't planned, but it happened. If you go on our page, on our 10K Takes, you'll see it on our Instagram, Twitter from last week, last Wednesday. It happened that night. There was the burning of a Homer hanky. I should say his name, Phil, our buddy Phil. Just took it out of my back pocket, and he's like, fuck it, this is getting burned. And he just burned it, and then it turned into a ceremony.
Honestly, props to him. It's probably not a good idea to start a fire in the middle of Minneapolis at night.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it was
I've-
technically on his porch of his apartment.
I have heard of some instances of that happening. I can't quite recall when it happened.
Yeah, was
but-
it 20
I have no
something?
idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beginning of the decade, maybe? I don't know.
But yeah. You're right, though. The burning of the Homer hanky. For all the haters out there who were saying it was us just doing whatever we could for a click or for views, Jake, you said he just did it anyways, and you were just documenting it, basically.
No, so I'm like, yeah, there was like a good 10, 15 seconds of him trying to burn it. And before I started filming, I'm like, I got to film this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Just this guy pissed off at the Twins, losing a series where they were not favorites, really. And we lose. He grabs the Homer hanky. I'm like, I got to start filming this. This is ridiculous.
I don't
Just
think-
how stupid it is. If you're going to burn a Homer hanky, at least document it. So people can see it. Because it is kind of a waste, but then again, we got a million of them. So
And I guarantee you the police and the fire department would both be happy to know you got a video of it. So when half of North Loop burns down, they know who did it.
yeah, they can trace it back to that night.
Yeah.
I do have breaking sports news.
let's hear it.
is
10K Sports.
It's Minnesota related.
Oh.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are playing an exhibition game against Ra'anana. I think I fucked that up. They're from Israel. So,
Okay.
Oh, no.
So I hope they win.
So is this like a Globetrotters versus Washington Generals kind of thing, or what?
No, sometimes they'll play exhibition games against teams from other countries, and we're losing.
Wait, are they playing in Israel?
No, are you dumb?
There's a war going on there.
Okay, so where are
Yeah,
they playing?
They're actually playing on the Gaza Strip in the middle of the street.
See
Yeah.
They're
that's
playing at the Target Center.
Okay.
doofus.
Well, I would just think that would make it for a good story if they were playing in Israel.
It's so stupid of you.
It's basically just like playing in Chicago, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they were playing on the coast of Israel, like away from all the shit, maybe they would be okay. But I assume that their home court is probably in the midst of the shit abyss. So.
Yeah, you could
It
safely
says they're
assume.
actually from like Palestine.
So we're
shit, then
we're,
nope.
We're losing.
yeah, we're losing by 5.
Oh,
Well, dude,
Jake,
they're fucking hungry right now,
how do I short this team?
That's a horrible.
How do I short this team?
I don't know. You just go back to let's get L. Jefferson or something
Yep.
again and see what happens.
Then again, I did just like look up their team, and I do recognize a couple players. So their team's not horrid.
they're probably like made up of a lot of like ex-college players that didn't really
Yeah,
make
there's
it.
actually a guy that played in the NBA for a while.
in the Naba.
A couple of them.
What's their names?
Bruno Caboclo and then Dwayne Bacon.
I've heard of Dwayne Bacon.
Dwayne Bacon. I've heard of that name too.
Was he? I can't name. I recognize the name though.
he the inventor of
what college?
Bacon?
Cam?
Dwayne Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's brother who played at the State
I
Fair.
know
Where
Dwayne.
did
Bacon.
Dwayne? Oh, he went to Florida State.
And then what about the other dude that I?
Bruno Caboclo is from
Bruno Nabokolo.
He has such a cool name, Bruno Caboclo. But he,
Caboclo,
he,
yeah.
Caboclo.
he played overseas, but he played for Toronto for a while.
Okay.
He did. Okay. What college?
Overseas.
Oh, he's just overseas straight up. All right. I mean, I know that European basketball is pretty. There's a decent culture over there. I know. Like guys like Frank Kaminsky, Wisconsin guy, plays over in Europe. But
Yeah, it's like the some league in Spain. I think they're stacked.
Yeah.
like there's so many players that play over there right now.
and they're sold out games and they get paid probably just fine. It's like
Yeah.
I'm doing just fine playing basketball.
Yeah. All
Fuck
right.
it.
But yeah, the Twins, we're happy it happened. We're sad it's over. And the streak's been broken. I think that's all anyone really ever wanted this year. It's a stepping stone. Like for people who thought, well, we want to win the World Series, let's pump the brakes, right? How does the saying go? Shoot for the moon, and if you don't make it there, you'll land on a star. I'd say we landed on a pretty good star. I don't think a lot of people back in the beginning of the year, especially the end of the year when we were barely winning the division against a bunch of teams who tanked and sold at the deadline, thought that we'd be in the ALDS in a Game 3. So,
I think
let alone a Game 4.
I think people thought. I mean, we definitely had a chance to win that. That last game there, but it's like
Sure.
their pitching just outdid us, and then guys like Alex Brigman and
They've
Altuve
been there.
just-
They've been there.
just
They've been
outplayed
there.
them. But we just
They're
you
veterans.
look if you look at our lineup, like we had decent hitters, but like there was really only a few guys that are like our impact guys that really didn't come out on top.
Yeah.
Like Correa struck out and Polanco struck out. It's like, guys, come on.
Yep.
Wasn't going to happen. It's just they have more consistency.
All right, let's move on to the Minnesota Vikings. We beat the Bears 19-13 to go 2-4, and saying that out loud just is so fucking sad.
Good God.
I read that sentence before I said it, and I just said it out loud, and it's so fucking sad. It feels like we're winless still.
I know.
I am a fake fan again.
Uh-oh.
I did.
Did you sleep again?
I fell asleep during the game.
Cam?
My niece fell asleep on me, and I was super tired, and I just like passed out.
Okay, Cam. There's a correlation here, though. You are 2-0. The Vikings are 2-0 when you
True.
sleep. I think you need to start taking like melatonin before Vikings games.
When I'm just sleeping at the stadium.
Or
when
someone
I go.
just knocks you out or something.
Oh, that's right. You go to
next
home
week.
games.
Yeah, next week is against the 49ers. So, well, I mean, just drink yourself into oblivion and pass out.
Give me your ticket for free, and then just sleep during the game, and we'll win.
That was such a good deal
Just
for
hang
me.
out with your grandpa.
Or we just sneak
He's a good
melatonin
guy.
in your drink.
That's my buddy.
Yeah, he's a
That's
good
your
guy.
buddy, Cam.
He's your buddy, Bill.
He'll probably ask you if you want to smoke some weed.
Sure.
Yeah, and
There
you
you
should
go.
do that.
I don't
Whatever
play,
helps
I don't
you
play
fall
Hockey
asleep.
Finder on Sundays anymore, so I can get high on
It's on Monday night.
It's on Monday night.
Oh, that's right.
Monday night.
Are those tickets going to be expensive, by the way? I kind of want to go.
Probably not.
I kind of want to go.
You should go.
Actually, it might be expensive to watch Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and
McCaffrey
And then-
might not
and then-
play.
McCaffrey question mark.
And then people are still going to think Taylor Swift's going to show up for some reason.
Yeah,
Even though
because
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the 49ers also play in the NFL, and so
Yeah.
does Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and she was at, almost at her stadium a couple weeks ago, so maybe she will still show up.
Yep.
I don't know. You'll still see where's Taylor signs, maybe. I don't think so, but
Yeah, we got to play against another backup that no one's heard of, and he actually looked pretty good against the Vikings. So
That's not Kevin from Third and Forever hit that on the head. That's not a real person.
that,
no,
that was
that was a creative player that they made. They made in the locker room when
spawned.
Fields went down.
He just respawned like near the field. Like, who is this
spawned.
guy? Like, when he came in, I was literally, I'm like, who? I thought I was gonna recognize the name to an extent. Like, oh, this is a backup that's been thrown around or
So-
whatever. Tyson Bagant, and then we looked them up. Shepherd University.
So I heard the story behind Shepherd University. A PFT commentator on Pardon My Take told everyone about this. He didn't grow up too far from Shepherd University, and apparently Shepherd University is the school that kids who don't get into West Virginia go to, or when everyone from that area goes to West Virginia, if someone can't handle college and drops out, they try a semester at Shepherd, and then after that semester, they realize college is not for them, and they drop out.
Okay.
So this is kind of like the B team squad of West Virginia.
Okay. It literally never happens where a player will come into the game and I don't know who they are.
That is pretty rare. Did you at least know where Shepherd was?
No,
Okay,
I had no
so
idea.
So
that
that's
guy
a
was
really bad
person.
sign.
Yeah.
I literally was just baffled. I thought I would at least heard the name, maybe didn't know where they necessarily went to college. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of this guy. He was some shit Mac quarterback or something. I don't know.
How do those guys get drafted?
baffling.
How do those guys get fucking drafted?
He might have
was
been
a ball boy.
undrafted.
That was a ball boy for sure.
That guy knows someone's dad.
Yeah.
That guy's dad knows someone's what I meant.
His daddy was going to sue the Bears if he didn't play or become the backup. Someone called like it was Little League football.
Here's what's crazy. If that guy was truly drafted, Brock Purdy was still picked after him.
Yeah.
There's no way he was drafted.
I just don't think he was. He had
Cam, research.
research it for us,
What
please.
is even his name?
Tyson Bagent.
Tyson Bagent, that's right.
What I don't understand
Bagant.
though
Bagant.
Isn't there a kicker's name that's close to that?
Michael Badgley.
Yeah,
Badgley. But
there you
except
go.
I've heard of him before.
Yeah.
A kicker. I think I probably heard of. You can list off every single punter in the league, and I'll be like, yeah, I know who that is. I've heard of him. Or backup kickers.
He was undrafted.
Okay.
But I just don't understand. There's got to be so many better players. Then again, they also have Nathan Peterman, who was horrendous. So
Yeah.
maybe Bagent was better. But
Yeah,
I
he's
suppose.
bad. They wanted to. I'm like this guy might be the new Nathan Peterman though. I don't know. He just
He might be the newest Sean Mannion.
yeah. Oh gosh. I mean,
He's
he is back. Fuck me, dude. Why? Like
He went on another bender for a month in Mexico, and he just crawled back to Egan, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll take you."
You know, like they always make fun of it in those action movies, like Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever. They find them like in the mountains, remote areas. Like, no, I'm retired. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And they come back and we need you. Just think about it, and he ends up coming back. It's like some crazy action movie with a retired hero that wants to live off the land, but that's what they did. That's why I picture it with Sean Mannion.
Someone has to go. Someone has to go winless in the preseason. And
Yeah.
Sean Mannion's like, "I'm here.
I
got you."
It's just why? I would probably rather have Tyson Bagent than Sean Mannion.
Compared to last year,
brutal. I'm done with him.
Especially as a brand who thrives off the stories and the fun of the Minnesota Vikings. It's been a tough year to get any real stories or any fun. It's like last year was a magical year. This has been the most boring year, I think, in 10K's existence as a Vikings fan. But at least we had a funny little story this week about how the team was listening to Creed before the game, and this somehow motivated them to beat the Vikings or to beat the Bears 19-13.
and if you don't know what Creed is, Jake will give you a sample right now.
Yeah. Can you take me higher? That's the song they were playing, but there's they have arms wide open
I could
too.
literally just make you do anything on this podcast.
Arms wide open. Yeah, Creed. That just makes
Under her the sunlight. But yeah, I mean, they were listening
sense.
to Creed. Kirk loved it, which I didn't know Kirk liked any music outside of Christian rock.
It
and
doesn't
Blink,
surprise me.
Well, I thought I heard somewhere he did like Creed,
Blink 182,
which would make sense.
Yeah.
Because Creed is like that. I feel like really clean rock.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Right.
makes sense though for him, and maybe if I hope that it actually helps them in the coming weeks. Keep listening to Creed, whatever works. But I mean, you did just beat a 1-4 team. The Vikings now combined record, their winning games combined record against their teams is literally 1-11.
Yeah.
Their team's combined record.
I mean,
Their opponent's combined record.
maybe all these players were motivated by Creed, considering the fact that they put on potentially the greatest halftime show of all time in 2001 at a Dallas Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. So
And that's why the Texas Rangers are about to win the World Series, because they've been listening to Creed.
yeah.
That's actually true.
I wonder if the Dallas Cowboys fans from Monday night were listening to Creed, because did you guys see this headline from the game against LA? So not only was there that massive brawl in the concourse, quite possibly the largest fight I've ever seen at a sporting event, but this headline from KFAN 2 hours ago: 2 Texas men were hospitalized after stabbing each other during an argument over the Dallas Cowboys Monday night football game.
I don't even know what to
Yeah,
say.
And you said there were 2 Dallas
They're
fans?
2 Cowboys fans, yeah.
Like, well, I wonder what they're arguing about. Like, Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, like
fuck you.
You guys won that game.
Gosh.
You're having a pretty solid year. I think they're 4-2 now going into a bye week. Vibes are great in Dallas. I don't know what you just beat the Chargers, who are always a tough team for anybody to beat,
especially when you're away.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, is it really a road game though in LA?
No,
It sounded very loud, but still.
it's just as loud for both teams. There has to be more Rams fans than Chargers fans, right?
That's what I've heard.
Because they had to plant that one girl at the Chargers game who was clearly a planted fan.
Did you know that? I looked. I researched. That's actually a real person.
Yeah,
she was
I did
on Pat McAfee.
She was a Vikings fan before.
That's
too.
not the same person. There's no way.
No.
I think it is.
I thought I read something on that actually. You could fact check it, but I thought I read that she was that picture is her in the Vikings jersey, but her son plays for the Vikings in their little league or something, and so she bought a authentic Vikings jersey for her to
She but yeah, she was on Pat
Trying to
McAfee.
get-
Apparently she's been like a season ticket holder forever. And like her husband is super rich, so they just buy like sweet tickets.
Have
So,
they been going since it was in San Diego, a whale's
I would
vagina?
imagine.
Okay.
A whale's vagina.
San Diego.
But there's definitely, I heard that there's like no Charger fans compared to Rams.
That seems right.
Especially because they got stuck in a soccer stadium for 2 years.
I'm
And-
pretty sure they're all in San Diego.
And the Rams have actually won championships. I feel like LA fans are very greedy, and it's like if you're not getting championships or you're not at least there, we don't care. We're gonna pick the winning team.
When the Chargers were here, I met a couple Charger fans who were from San Diego, which
Oh.
is super cool to see. They were like,
Why they ever moved it?
they're
from
OG.
yeah,
Because Qualcomm Stadium was falling apart.
Qualcomm. I've driven by that stadium. It looked like a piece of. It looked like a dump.
there? It looked like a piece of
But
shit.
It looked like
It
a
used to
piece
be a
of
piece.
shit. But San Diego, that was kind of they had the Padres and the Chargers. They're 2 unique teams.
Yeah. Speaking of fan fights as well, after the Vikings-Bears game, there were Bears fans beating each other up in the concourse of Soldier Field.
Did
So
you see that punch?
yeah, that's
fucked.
That's assault.
Well, what
that's
did I-
assault,
felony.
brother.
Yeah, didn't I see like a comment on that? Like that was he was wearing a Justin Fields jersey, and someone commented, "Wow, Justin Fields is accurate" or something
Yeah.
like that because it was an accurate punch. That's brutal.
Yeah,
was
that
such a
guy
sucker punch, though.
knocked that guy out. I mean,
guy didn't-
side of the head,
He went up behind his back. I'm like,
and when
God,
the guy didn't even see it coming.
that's so bad.
So bad.
Can we stop it?
What starts those fights? Especially when it's 2 fans of 2 opposing teams, it makes sense, right? You're drunk. One guy's cheering too loud. The other turns around and tells him to stop cheering too loud. They end up fist fighting. Sure. When it's fans of the same team, I don't know how that starts.
It's literally just testosterone, Miller Lite, and you looked at my girlfriend the wrong way.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Or you might have said Justin Fields is the best quarterback to ever happen to Chicago sports or something. I don't know. But I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that. I mean, Minnesota, our culture is different. People are maybe nicer here, but I'm surprised we had never seen like a viral brawl like that amongst our fans,
So-
especially with the Kirk Cousins heat and debate. I don't know.
I think there were more of those in the Metrodome.
There definitely was.
I think Vikings got lucky that in the Metrodome days, social media and smartphone cameras were not a big thing because
Yeah.
at least one of my best friends from high school is a Packers fan, said that his last ever game in the Metrodome, he saw 2 Vikings fans up in the way upper deck tumbling down the stairs together because they were fighting.
Damn it.
So,
I wish we had
I
cameras.
used to see people get kicked out of the Metrodome all the time.
Dude,
That's a good stadium to get kicked out of, though. We should
Dude.
rank the best stadiums to get kicked out of. I think the Metrodome would be top of the list.
It'd be the top, number one. I remember, going to going to a couple of these Twins games, recently. It was just kind of spiked my memory of how crazy it was at the Dome because I don't know, at the Dome, I still remember going to a game as a kid and there were at the bottom of 3 sections, on the stairs near the field. I remember at the bottom of all 3 sections there was a guy at the bottom of each one with a beer, fucked up, trying to get everyone to do the wave. There was 3 guys at the bottom of each section of 3 sections. And I'm like, what am I looking at?
Jake,
I was
that's
7 years
basically
old.
you, though, at Gopher games, getting everyone to try to do the Gopher.
You're right. But
Fucked up in a visor.
Imagine what I would have been like at the Metrodome then.
I know. I've always said I
heated.
really want to go in a time machine and go back to the Metrodome and be 21 plus because we went to it
Yes.
as kids all the time, and you don't really understand how any of that works as a kid. But as an adult, you're like, I just want to get drunk in a shitty place and watch sports.
The Metrodome
Well,
as an adult.
We're
would be
going to
electric.
Lambeau in a couple of weeks.
That's a good point. We can do it there.
Yeah, we can find our inner self that wanted to be that person at the Dome. We can do it at Lambeau. It's an old stadium.
It's only 2 weeks away.
Alas.
Yeah, I know, time flies. The last thing I want to mention on the Vikings-Bears game was I texted our friend Barstool Chief, big-time Chicago Bears fan. I just said, I'm sorry. I saw him and Eddie and all those guys were at the tailgate, and I said, I'm very sorry you had to witness that game in person. It's some of the worst football I've ever watched. And how did he respond to me? He said, I was only at the tailgate. We won the tailgate. So at least Bears fans are positive about something. You guys tailgated harder than the Vikings fans that were there because there weren't probably a ton, other than our friend Carter Michaels, who was actually on the broadcast dressed up as Kirk Cousins wearing the chains, saying that he's Kirk's doppelganger, that he drove over 300 miles to be at the game. Jake, what are your thoughts on that? I don't think you've ever had competition in this space before, let alone from someone we know.
But I think a lot of people are trying to say this is a bad thing or it's like intimidating or want me to fight back. Like, no, he can gladly take over. He drove more than I ever have to see Kirk. Going to Chicago. I'm pretty sure when we go to Lambeau, we're not going to be driving nearly as many miles. So I guess if he wants to take it over, I mean, I'm flattered. So. He did drive a shit ton of miles to see him and had the chain on and everything. But, yeah, it's crazy that he kind of went a little viral and we know him.
So his sign said, I drove 660 miles to see my doppelganger, Kirk Chains, plus the Vikes get a W. Skol Vikes. He had the handlebar mustache, the chains on, no shirt, and a Vikings blazer. And like I said, this guy was actually in my college fraternity, so I know him, which is insane considering the fact that I saw him on the broadcast. And then I saw him on Kirk's Instagram story and didn't know it was him until he put it in a group chat that I'm in with a ton of other guys from college. So let alone there's someone else doing this and that we know him is wild. But, Jake, what I want to ask you is would you be interested in doing a Jake Paul-style celebrity boxing match between you and the Kirchhoffs? It could be the official Kirchhoff.
I guess that's the official Kirchhoff. I say, yeah, sure. Why not?
Also, he did. This is, to my knowledge, at least to how well I know him, this is his first time ever doing this. He gets put on the broadcast. He gets on Kirk's Instagram story. It took you a long time and a lot of grinding to get anyone's attention. I don't think you've still been on a broadcast yet, and you've done it at the game a lot of times.
I was obviously on the stadium, on the stadium Jumbotron at the U.S. Bank Stadium, but never been on a broadcast to my knowledge. I think we were briefly on camera at the Colts game last year when I was dressed up fully in the attire, I should say. But no, I have never been on the broadcast yet, so maybe I'd stick out more in Lambeau if I did a bit. I don't know.
Are you going to wear the full outfit to Lambeau? That actually might be funny.
I probably will have to.
I think you'll have
but
to.
I need to buy some sort of fucking
you need to buy a
fanny pack or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my phone and
You might want a bulletproof vest, too. I think the gun laws in Wisconsin are a little more chillax.
Yeah, I need to figure that out. But, yeah. I think the full-on costume in Lambeau might be the move, honestly. We'll see. I mean, I mean, in Lambeau, I'd stick out more. It's just green and yellow, shit colors, and then purple and gold.
I think you guys will like it. I went to Lambeau for the Viking-Packer game. Oh, are we back shorthanded?
But we did score.
Yeah. Okay.
Kirill scored. Kirill.
Here comes another shorthanded goal.
Kirill Kaprizov.
Oh, I can still have the persistent cough, as you can tell.
That's okay.
All right, moving on to the Wild. They started the season. We've already talked some Wild. We were at the season opening win, 2-rip against the Panthers. We had a Philip Gustafson shutout.
See,
we only got to Reed's 3 hours before the game, Jake. That's just us in our midseason form.
Yeah, well, we got there a little bit before 4, so I think we did it right this time because the last time we would get there on 5:30 and it'd just be packed, and we would have to we'd scramble for somewhere else, go into that back room at Burger Mo's. I mean, still great, but we did it right in the first game. Got there, got a table, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it felt just so good to be back at Reed's, surrounded by Wild sweaters. You know, a little chill in the air, knowing that there's a hockey game. It's an unmatched feeling that I'm just so happy is back. It's like a warm blanket after a cold day covering you back up.
And drinking a cup of hot cocoa or some shit.
Yeah, or 4 McGoldens because they're 2-for-1s.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a great feeling because like I said, we had been there. I think I had been there a couple times during the summer when it's non-hockey night. You're in the heat of summer. It's not close to hockey season. It's weird being there. It doesn't have the same vibe. It's kind of dead. it's just not the place to be on a Friday or Saturday night.
I almost
non-hockey
don't go to Reed's
No.
or anywhere on West 7th
No.
during the non-hockey season because it makes me sad. I just think about
I
just think about the Wild and the X and the playoffs, and it's just I just try to stay away.
You think about the previous season, kind of, right? Like you are getting very excited to the upcoming season, but when you go there, you think of one of the last times I was here was when we were
Dallas
here
Stars.
watching the playoffs and everything. So it brings jogs memories, or bad memories, I should say, of the end of the season. So yeah, you don't want to go there until the new season starts. It's a new slate. So we officially kicked off the new season at Tom Reed's on Thursday.
Yep.
Getting down there
That's
early.
the real puck drop is when you
Yes.
show up to Tom Reed's and you take a sip of the first beer. That's the real puck drop for the fans.
We loved it. Yes.
Puck drop during the game is only figurative.
Yeah, exactly. That it's just like when people, it's like when people let's just say this. What I'm thinking of here. Oh, yeah, weddings, right? They'll actually go to the courthouse before the wedding.
Right.
But then they'll just but why? I just want to have a wedding for the ceremony. That was the actual consummation of the season. That's what I was looking for. The actual consummation of the season was when we went to Reed's and we got there and had that first sip of beer and had a great time.
Kind of like any Gopher football game or Viking game when you're tailgating. Kickoff is not noon or 11 a.m. Kickoff is when you crack the first beer at 7:45 a.m. in a parking lot. Am I right, Cam?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I do.
We we went to the game early. We went in early, got to meet up with a big fan of ours, Bill Guerin. I don't know. I think he won some sort of cup, like I can't remember what kind of cup it is.
Yeah,
there's a couple of them maybe.
Red Solo Cup.
Yeah, you got like a set of them.
Yeah,
like
Red
what
Solo
you get for
Cup.
Christmas.
Yeah, big Toby Keith guy.
No, it was cool. We
Yeah.
we met up with Billy G. It was Jake's dad's birthday. He gave him some gifts.
The big 6-0, yes. And I think I kind of knew he was going to maybe like give him something, but like I think the biggest thing, Jack, you kind of spoiled the surprise, which I don't really give a shit.
Did I spoil the surprise, or did you spoil the surprise for not telling me it was a surprise?
It was my fault because I said we were going to meet up with Billy G and because we were kind of meeting up with him too because it wasn't just solely meeting up with him for my dad's birthday because we all want to see him and get a picture and talk to him before the beginning of the season. I should have mentioned it. It was mostly my fault, and then I should have mentioned my dad doesn't know about this, and I didn't say that. However, like it was still. We didn't tell him though until he was because you told him like when we were at Tom Reed's like an hour before the game, so that's a good time to tell him. Like he didn't know he was going to the game until a few hours before that. Gets to Tom Reed's and you tell him that it's great, but then he gives him like hot off the line merch, like warm up merch that they give to the players, and they gave it to my dad, so he loved that. So that was a surprise, but yeah, we got to talk to Billy and everything. Good times, and Derek Stepan was there.
Yeah, we didn't really even realize it until afterwards.
So I didn't. It didn't click. I've heard of that player and stuff, but I'm like, wait, yeah, fuck, that guy played in the NHL. I remember he played for Wisconsin.
Yep.
In the late 2000s, the last year of the WCHA, and then I just remember playing seeing him in the NHL games, from 2012 to 2018, because I think he retired in 2018. He's still fairly young.
He's 33.
Yeah. He could still be playing. I don't know.
I think I was listening to Straight from the Source with Russo today, and he was interviewing Stepan, and I'm pretty sure they like live in the same neighborhood or something, because he said Billy was out walking Lando, the big ass dog.
Yes.
We've been to his house and we've seen that dog. That thing is huge. But they were like, they walked past each other in the road or something, and Stepan was like, "Hey, Billy." He's like, "Hey, I'd love to like get lunch with you and talk about some stuff," and was basically offered him a job or something. So. I don't know. It's kind of a cool story. He's still living in Minnesota. He's originally from here, but never played.
Hastings.
Yeah, he's from Hastings. Never actually played with the Wild, which is unfortunate. But he did play with Matt Zuccarello. I feel like him and Fleury's paths have probably crossed a few times at some point. Maybe not on the same team, but I don't know.
Yeah. Cause
I'm trying to think about like veterans in the league.
No, I'm sitting here just trying to think because like that's such a. Like he wasn't. I don't want to rip on him. He wasn't like Ovechkin or Kaprizov or anything, but he was a good player. And I'm just trying to sit here and think of all the teams. I know he played for the Rangers for sure.
The Rangers. He played
Coyotes.
for the Hurricanes, the Coyotes.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think who he played with, but he was kind of a guy. I think we probably knew him. Reason we probably like it jogs our memory too is because he's from Minnesota. He was probably one of those guys that
played with the Senators as well. So he played with the Hurricanes, the Coyotes, the Rangers, and the Senators. He only played with the Senators for a year.
Okay, then he retired.
20 games.
I wonder if he got injured or something. I know someone probably know.
He retired with the Canes.
But he played 73 games that season.
So yeah, it's weird. I just thought he was a guy. He was just one of those guys that seemed like he would stick around in the NHL till he's 40. You know, like a Matt Cullen or something. A guy that would be not like known as an Ovi or anything. But I don't know. Maybe he could still play. I mean, he was with Billy G.
Well,
I don't know if we have. I don't know if we
Russo
can
was
disclose
joking
that.
him about that. He's like, this team could actually use you, Derek, if you want to like step in.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean, you're only 33. When was the last year he played? Wasn't it 2018 though, or 2019?
Yes, it was.
He played last year.
Oh, he did.
Did
play.
he?
He played last year, 2022 to 23.
Shit, then that's why he's still fresh. Maybe he might play. I don't know. Maybe
could.
we probably shouldn't be
They're
disclosing
just
this information.
keeping him on as a reserve.
Shit. Yeah. I always liked him. I mean,
It was also funny too how Bill looked at your mom and she's like, "I'm Jake's mom," because I don't think your parents had met him or your mom hadn't met him.
my
yet.
mom has never met him.
And he was like, "Oh, nice. You did one job. Well, you did a great job of raising one shithead of a son." That's just what he says to your mother, who birthed you.
He and she gets it. She thought it was hilarious, but yeah, it is funny because I thought he was going. He started off like looking in her eyes, shaking her hand, as I just want to say. You raised one.
I knew something was coming.
See, I thought he was going to say you raised one hell of a son, like he was going to be nice. I'm like, no, I wouldn't want him to do that. He's like, you raised one hell of a shithead.
Yep.
Right to my mom's eyes. Never met her.
People who know Bill Guerin know
I
that that's him being genuine.
I love it though.
I also told him too. I'm like, I had a shutout on Wednesday in my hockey league, second one. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I go, you got to come take some shots on me. Let's set it up at Tria. He goes, oh, I'll shoot on you. He goes, I got some new twigs I want to try on you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, is he gonna hit them over my head or something like he did to his teammate back in the 90s? Or
yeah, I don't know. It's
what's he gonna do to me with those sticks,
dude? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be worried about the necessarily like how fast he's gonna shoot or what he's gonna do with the puck.
He's got that temper. If I save one, he might just take a swing at me.
He might just poke you in the stomach or know like the weak point or something.
He's gonna fuck with me somehow.
Pressure point. Yeah. But that was great meeting. Many more times we'll run into Billy G. It's kind of funny because
family.
We were mentioning though how and Zane was mentioning it. When we were at the game and that like we've met up with them a few times like in the concourse last year, and it is funny because I kind of feel bad for Bill too because like, and I know he's a fan guy, but he's coming down to meet us. And it's just funny because people start swarming around and they want to obviously say hi and take pictures with them, but in reality he's got he has places to be, so I kind of feel bad, but like I think he loves it though.
No, Jake, this is an opportunity for us though. Think about this.
Yeah.
You notice that, right? He gets swarmed. He's probably stressed. He doesn't need. I mean, he likes to talk to all those fans, but he doesn't necessarily need to be doing that.
No.
Just next time we want to meet up with him before a game, just say, "Hey, Bill, we'd love to meet up with you. We want to save you the courtesy of coming downstairs. Why don't we come up there?"
Come
and
up
then
to
we
your sweet box.
sneak our way into the owner's box.
So it'd be
and then we start schmucking it up with some of these front office guys, and we eventually get kicked out.
And that's okay. But no, I think that'd be hilarious because I think it was still very weird going in the owner's box at the crazy game of hockey at TCO or at Tria. But it was already weird doing that. We already felt out of the place. We already felt like we were going to get kicked out, even though Bill said we were fine up there. But like if we went up there for an actual regular season game where these guys are like, including Bill, are analyzing the team, making sure everything's operating well, and there are millions of dollars on the line in this game, and points on the line ultimately to go into the playoffs, and we're in there, I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kick myself.
I'm already thinking of a hilarious way to flex about that. You just take a picture over Billy G and the rest of the team's shoulder of the ice and say, "These seats suck. I wish I could afford to sit lower."
And Billy,
you're clearly in the GM box with the entire front office staff. And that would be the most subtle flex ever.
And you clearly make sure you have the profile of Billy G in the photo, so people, my gosh.
Or you take a picture of just the back of his head and you say, "This fucking guy has such a big head, I can't see the game. Hashtag upgrade my seats."
That would go with the whole just trolling bit we do. I mean,
so many people would be like,
"Are you
wow,
fucking kidding me?
Assholes, like, you get to sit with the GM and you're going to complain about how you can't see it." It's like, yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. We would hold strong on
It's
that
a bit.
point of view.
That's the name of the show. It's a bit.
It's a bit. We do it for the bit. It's just so funny though when we put shit out like that. It's so blatantly, obviously a joke or a bit, and people like just take the time to comment and sit there and literally waste whether it's 30 seconds or a few minutes of their day being fumigating about it. Like what? But that's that's what we're here. That's why we're here.
It's sports, folks.
It's hilarious.
Let's not take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like the Bally Sports Studio got upgraded.
Which is
did.
crazy
They have
because
that
they
cool
can't
little
afford anything
backdrop.
else.
Yeah, because aren't they going to be done in like halfway through the
Well,
season?
Diamond Broadcast. I think the broadcasting company will just get passed to someone else. I'm pretty sure Bally owns Diamond Broadcasting.
Okay, it's going to come back to Fox Sports North.
Russo knows more. Read him. Don't ask me about it. But anyways, yeah, we were at the season opening game. Met up with Billy G. It was Jake's dad's birthday. That was awesome. Light up towels, fucking game changer. They had the hankies. We went to the opening game last year, and they just had the white ones, the regular ones that you see in the playoffs. They gave us white ones again for the first home opener this year, but they lit up, and they killed the lights in the arena. Everyone flicked theirs on, and you can look at the video on our Instagram, on our Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, 10K Takes. Fucking religious experience.
Yeah.
Insane the way that they flashed, and I don't know how they dispersed them so well, but it looked like it was pretty well spread out. Like, you easily could have had an issue where I guess maybe every other person you give a different color to, but imagine if there was a pocket of green or red, it would have thrown it off. It was perfectly flashing diamonds of every color. It was so cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I think in the old like NHL 2K games, and like I don't know how I remember this. Well, of course I do. I played them a lot, but NHL 2K9, NHL 2K10, like the last of the 2K games for NHL 2K, I should say, on Xbox 360. I think they literally like part of the audience presentation before the game, they would have the fans in the stands having like a light up towel, and it looked great actually in the game.
The same game where you could drive the Zamboni
Yes.
during intermission.
Yes,
That's
why,
awesome.
yeah.
Why is that not in it anymore?
Because
it was great.
holy shit.
Because they did get kind of out competed or whatever the word is by EA Sports
by Farming Simulator,
well, no, not. I think the game in general just got beat by
Trucker
NHL.
Simulator. It's funny how you
Trucker.
can make an entire game of just driving a vehicle in
Dude,
circles.
they should just do Zamboni Simulator, and you try to build your
Yes.
way up to. You start as a shitty rink attendant in like Mora, Minnesota, and then move up.
Or
I
it's-
bring up Mora.
or like GM mode.
Oh,
You
my
can be GM of an arena mode.
Yes,
Like my
Yes.
my grandpa growing up was the rink manager in Columbia Heights Ice Rink, which I don't think is there anymore. But I mean, it's a whole. Those guys have like busy lives. It's a busy job. You could. I mean, think about it. It's like upgrade locker rooms, $10. You get the budget. Like, oh, a beer league team just came in. You just
Yeah.
made $900 off one skate.
You-
like now you can upgrade the Zamboni because the ice sucks.
Yeah, you can upgrade your concession items.
It's just a side quest.
yeah, side quest.
Sounds awesome.
Dude, can you imagine if NHL
gotta
24
schedule the rink, too.
NHL 24 did like an add-on the way that GTA and COD
Oh,
do,
man.
where it's like you can add $25 for this add-on package of Rink Manager.
Yes, that'd be great. I'm just thinking about now you have to deal with might hockey dads for accidentally scheduling practice time during the wrong time or something like that.
And then
like,
it's almost like a Pokemon conversation where it's the thought bubble.
Yes,
that says
yep.
that says like my son's team was supposed to practice at this time. Well, sir, did you go through the website?
Yes.
I called this person. Well, who'd you call? And you can select the responses, and that changes the rating of the rink based on your customer service
the
and your quality
reactions.
assurance.
Did
I
you,
would purposely do the most negative reactions to piss them off.
Did you guys ever play like Zoo Tycoon?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
Roller Coaster
Roller
Tycoon?
Coaster
You bet.
Tycoon was
You
the
bet.
shit.
Zoo Tycoon was the best one by far. But if they had Rink Manager Tycoon, I would buy that.
Can you imagine, like, you start as a shitty barn that has the worst ice? You guys remember that clip that came out from Manitoba last
Yeah,
year
they're walking
of the guys had to push down the stairs, and the stairs were super sketchy to get down to the ice?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you,
yes.
You start with a barn like that, and then you could upgrade to, like, the Blaine Super Center after, like, a year's worth of work.
Yeah, or
And then you just have the X.
or upgrade to just simply having a normal entrance to the arena,
Right.
or to the rink, and then
It's like, hey, we can afford concession stands that can be open during the high school games. Cool. Or like, hey, a local high school wants to play here. Geez, this is actually a really good idea.
yeah, rink manager.
let's
we
stop
should,
talking about
I
it.
thought
We
this
gotta
was
make it.
Yeah.
yeah, we should copyright that like tonight.
We're gonna have to
before
cut-
this is
we're gonna have to
released.
We're gonna have to send a
Cut
C&D to
this-
anyone
cut
else.
this from the podcast.
Rink manager tycoon.
was
Rink
good.
tycoon.
That was a good transition, Jack.
That was a great transition. A few more things to talk about, though, quickly from the opening night game.
yeah.
A Zin killed Wags. That's why Wags isn't here. Cam, I'll let you
Can't
tell the
imagine.
story because you were more sober than me considering you were driving.
Oh my God, I feel so bad, like even just outing him on this, but he wouldn't care.
Well, people have to know where he is.
Yeah,
Jake, can you
I
hand
don't
me
even know how to
can you-
say
can you
this.
hand me a beer?
I'll take one too, Jake. So we were at the Wild game, and I had Zins with me, of course. And I gave one to Jack during the game, and then I asked Zane if he wants one. He's like, oh, no, I've never done it, but on the way home I will. I'm like, all right, let's go. I was pretty hyped, I'm not going to lie. And then we get into the car, and Zane starts, he puts the Zyn in. He didn't know what to expect. He starts getting the ziccups, is what I call them, the hiccups from Zyns, which happens all the time, and it sucks. If you've ever had those, nothing makes those go away. But so he's struggling. I'm like, dude, you all right? Like, because he like had a bad pass with like when he's dipped before, and like he also has Crohn's, so his stomach is just fucked to begin with. Then all of a sudden, Jack and I are talking, and I just hear, I'm like, are you all right? And he's like, no. I'm like, fuck. He grabs my souvenir cup and just proceeds to just destroy it. Just threw up all over it. And he made it all in the cup, which was fantastic.
Good thing you saved the cup, eh?
Yeah, no shit. And he's like, oh, I feel so much better now. And he just threw the cup outside of the truck. He died.
Yeah.
The Zyn killed him.
And he's got if you ever wonder why Wags isn't here, he's talked about it before. He's got a very bad case of Crohn's disease, and sometimes when he has a rough weekend and he inhales, ingests certain things that the body doesn't like, he's out for the count for a little bit. So that's why he's not here. But yeah, Zyn killed him, and he's still struggling, but
Zane has passed.
He's died. R.I.P.
Zane.
Okay, last few things on the Wild. We played Toronto Saturday night. Not as fun of a game as we had with the Panthers. I think we lost 7-4, something like that.
Like 6-3.
6-3? Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. All I know is that Austin Matthews is him.
And Marco Rossi scores his first NHL goal. So a little round of applause to Mr. Rossi.
After he got it taken away.
Yeah, from another offsides call.
Yeah, literally, I didn't realize till someone mentioned it. I'm like, wait, yeah, he did have like 2 taken away last year at the beginning of the year before he got sent down. It's like, that sucks.
Yeah.
So good for him. Marco, which officially is Rossi. I think we can call him that.
I thought.
It is Rossi, but he said
Rossi's
said
fine.
in a post game or whatever, like Rossi's fine, or a presser in the preseason. So like, okay, but I just started getting used to Rossi, but now I'm back to Rossi. So
I think he said he prefers Rossi because Rossi is supposed to have a rolled R in it, and he says Americans don't know how to roll the R, so it's supposed to be Rossi.
Rossi, which we can adapt to, but it's not part of like our normal speech, everyday speech.
50% of people are going to severely fuck that up. So let's just go with whatever 100% of people can handle, which is Rossi. All right, final thing with Minnesota sports before we get into a bit of the week. Gopher football's back. It was nice to have a stress-free weekend to play golf and get some shit done where we didn't have to stress about the Gophers. And what seems like the Minnesota Gophers' kryptonite every year, the Iowa Hawkeyes, we're back. We're in Iowa this year. This feels like the year. This is crazy to say, and you can tell me I'm wrong if you listen to this after Saturday and we get boat raced, which is very possible, but this feels like the game that the Gophers will win. This makes no sense to win. The team has clearly regressed since last year. We just got, as Cam would say, throat fucked by the Michigan Wolverines a couple weeks ago and had absolutely no strategy. And we've had now a week off. We had a little bye week. This feels like the game the Gophers win. I'm just going to say it.
I've said I was thinking this too, in that we have never beat Iowa under PJ Fleck. We haven't won in like 6 or 7, 8 years. And I've told people this, and they're like, no way in hell have you seen. I'm like, no, I'm not talking about from a logical point of view. I'm not saying from statistically. I'm not saying from how they've been. I'm not saying they're going to win based on how they've been playing in prior games. It's going to happen for absolutely no reason. It's not I think they're better than Iowa or they're going to figure it out. No, I don't know. It's just they're somehow going to beat them.
I spent all last Saturday moving into the new place. I think I would rather move all my shit back to Plymouth and do it again than watch this game on Saturday. I mean, it's going to be 6-3. The over-under should be 11.5. And I would still take the under.
What is it's like 31.5?
Yeah, it should be 11.
Cam, what is the lowest over-under of all time in college football? Is that public information?
I can look it up right now, but I
feel like that's close.
It's got to be like in the teens when they're using leather helmets.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'll look it up right now.
When they're sports gambling.
Before sports gambling.
Back when sports gambling was just a shady guy by the bleachers. Back when that was the sports book.
Yeah.
It's the same guy who was running liquor in the catacomb tunnels under St. Paul. But Jake, if you think about it though, while Cam's looking that up, think about this. So the haters of PJ Fleck said, well, he's not a real Minnesota Gopher coach until he turns his program around.
He has never beat Iowa. That's
he
what
did
I was
that.
biggest.
No, listen.
Yep.
He did
My
that.
bad.
People said he can't be a real coach until he turns the program around. Cool, he did that. Then they said he can't be a real coach until he can beat Wisconsin. He did that. Then they said he couldn't be a real coach until he wins the Pinstripe Bowl. He did that last year.
You know what the Gophers do though? Is the Gophers
now he needs to beat Iowa, and then what's left to say?
His resume is complete.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
He's made it.
Yeah, he won the Pinstripe Bowl. He hasn't made it. Then people are going to say, well, until he can make it to the college football playoff, he's not a real coach.
This is crazy. So betting totals started to be tracked in 1995. The record was actually last year in 2022 finished between Iowa and Minnesota at 31.5. And now we're about to do it again.
They should lower it just so we can break the record.
Let's break our own record.
Hashtag progress. That's nuts. 31.5, and it was last year. God, I think we still hit the under. What was it, like 17 to 14?
It was horrendous.
Or
Any Minnesota Gopher.
What was the score last
year? Any
year?
Gopher Hawkeye game is so bad to watch.
Gophers.
So
Same with basketball. It's just bad all around.
Well, the over-under was 22.5 last year, or at 31.5. We only had 23 total points, so we still hit that under last year. Hammer the under again this year.
So I'm telling you, even if it was at 11, I would hammer the under.
Jeez.
Teams are bad.
Dude, well, yeah, Iowa, they haven't been able to put up any points at all, have they?
Kirk Ferentz doesn't get fired because he has a clause in his contract that they need to average more than, I forgot what the number is, but it's like 28 points.
Dude, that's
and if he doesn't meet that clause, they can fire him.
That's insane. It's his son, isn't it?
Or yeah, whatever.
The offensive coordinator. Can you imagine if your dad said that? If your dad was like, "Hey, son, it's not that I'm not proud of you, but if you don't do this, I'm firing you from the family business."
The head coach will get fired. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the coordinator.
No, the head coach has a clause in his.
Oh.
Because Kirk Ferentz is the head coach.
Oh, that's even worse. So now.
Or wait, am I stupid?
No, yeah, you're fucking this up.
Yeah, no. Kirk Ferentz is the head coach, and then I think his son is the OC.
His
so
son,
though,
his dad is threatening to fire his son if the offense can't put up an average of 23 points a game.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is. Because I know, because I was in a wedding with a guy who's a Hawkeyes fan a month ago, and he was talking about how that storyline shook up
it's Brian Ferentz.
Shook up the entire fan base. So,
and they're not going to. They're not going to average that. I remember we were in Iowa, me and the 10K Bets boys, and they scored another touchdown with no time remaining just to hit that total.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. Basically, that guy is in the shoes of a gambler, except it's for his job.
Yeah.
He's betting on a team total every week for his job. All right, let's move on to bit of the week. Cam pre-jacked the transition there, but no, it's okay. We do have some legal news. 10,000 Takes has been C&D'd by the Minnesota Wild. If you don't know what a C&D is, it is a cease and desist, which means stop what you're doing. It's not a very big deal. I mean, we made the Wild merch, the Minnesota Wild. Obviously, there's some resemblances in some of the logos we used. We used team branding, team colors, which, we don't want to ruin the relationship with the Wild. They're our favorite team. We have contacts there. This isn't going to be an us versus them thing, but it is a bit of a milestone because that means that our merchandise was big enough to hit their radar. So
yeah,
it's not like we're getting sued. It's not like we're going to be
Yet.
banned from the X or anything. It's just it is the first stage of any legal proceeding where they basically say stop doing this or it's going to get worse. So, oh God.
Oh, jeez.
I just
the curse of the C&D.
Wrong pipe. Yeah, the Wild just put that on me. All right.
Yeah. It's the we're cursed. Just like we're in another. This is our second legal battle. It was Celine Dion before. Now it's this.
Yeah. We moved on to our own team, which some would call friendly fire.
Yeah, but isn't it technically the NHL?
It is the NHL
not even really on behalf of the Wild.
Yeah.
So I would say it's more so the National Hockey League.
the
and
No
Gary
Fun
Bettman.
League.
Fuck them.
Wait, no, that's football. No Fun League.
No Fun League. No.
The No Happy League.
The No Happy
No
League.
Happy League.
Yeah.
I
The
like
NHL sucks. We want to revolt it, and we want it to be an independent league owned by the Saudis.
Light
It's
it on fire.
3-on-3. So that's our
Light them
opinion
up,
on the
George.
matter.
Light them up.
But yeah, no, it sucks. We did have a lot of awesome merch for those who did order it before the C&D came. We appreciate it. You get to keep it. You can wear it. No one's going to arrest you. No one's going to tase you at the X. But the C&D bit. It's the first one we've ever gotten. Kind of sucks that it's from one of our own teams, but it's a milestone nonetheless. Just to say that we're getting on the big boys' radar. So.
Yeah, we always said, I think we actually kind of wanted a C&D at one point. That means we're doing something big.
Yeah,
And
it's getting attention.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I look at this as an opportunity rather than a a setback.
I like that. Corporate America
No.
talk.
Yeah, it is. I felt like a fucking manager.
We're going to flatten the curve.
That's more of the CDC.
That was more CDC.
Yeah, but we can take it at all angles.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's
Yeah, we'll
flatten
take it
the
at a
curve.
public health level.
Well,
I appreciate the positivity.
Sure, let's do it. Flatten the curve.
Sometimes the puck bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes you got to get it in deep. Yeah.
You got to crash hard.
Yep. Love it.
But yeah, that's super simple. The C&D bit, honorable mention bit, the shutout bit. Last Wednesday in our mid-level hockey finder league, I did have a shutout, second of my career. I robbed the same guy twice. He wasn't very happy about it, but we were laughing about it after the game. It was very fun. And Philip Gustafson and I both had a shutout last week, so I can say I have something in common with an NHL goalie.
Yeah.
I allegedly just got a text saying that Flower just stacked the pads.
Yeah, no, so I just looked over. I literally I feel like I use that word a lot. But anyway, he was stacking his pads.
That's my guy.
That's awesome.
That's
was
my
flying around.
that's my fucking guy. See, everyone says he's washed
dude.
up. Everyone says he's going to retire. No, that's my guy.
See, that's what sucks about like Fleury is one of like the last old school goalies in the league. He's one of the oldest goalies in the leagues. He grew up in that era of where goalies would just stack the pads and would do kind of that stand up.
The Jimmy Craig
goalie,
bit.
the Jimmy Craig bit, kind of that era of the late '90s, early 2000s, because that's what they were taught, growing up. So yeah, it's going to be a very sad day when he retires.
Yeah,
Honestly.
if Marc-Andre Fleury truly did just stack the pads, I'm going to come.
Yeah, I'm gonna come.
You might as well start coming.
I'm gonna come, folks. Believe it or not.
Yeah. All right. Journalist Jake, what's your bet?
I can't say this without laughing. It's been going on
More
for
of an
so long.
inside joke.
Because
It's not
it's an
as-
inside joke, but like it's just because it's coming from a serious place.
I can't believe you're doing this.
It's the Gopher Hoops bit. Not Gopher basketball, not University of Minnesota men's basketball. This is specifically the Gopher Hoops bit, and this comes from our buddy Phil. Actually, we talked about him earlier with the hanky, so he's getting a shout out. So Phil, I don't know if you're listening to this, but shout out. But
I don't know if he listens to the 10K Sports Show.
I don't think he listens to the 10K Sports Show.
'cause that's what he thinks we are.
He last week after the Twins game, he was trying to tell, bless his heart, he's trying to tell people about the bid and about the brand and everything. But he literally kept referring to us as the 10K Sports Podcast. Okay, great. But anyway, he and his roommate, he goes by Minners, and both great guys. They're great people. But it's more so driven by our buddy Phil, who wants to start a Gopher basketball podcast, but he's just constantly calling it Gopher Hoops. We want to start a Gopher Hoops podcast. Gopher Hoops. Gopher Hoops.
If we end up allowing this to happen, that has to be the name of it. Just Gopher Hoops presented by 10K
Gopher
Takes.
Hoops. And every time I run into him now, it's since I think this idea, he's been trying to pitch me this idea since May or June. Every time I've run into him, I've hung out with him. Don't hang out with him a lot, but every time I do, he starts drinking and he starts, here's Gopher Hoops. All right, here's the Gopher Hoops. No, we're going to do Gopher Hoops. I've only missed 2 games last year. We're going to do Gopher Hoops. Gopher Hoops, Gopher Hoops. You need a Gopher Hoops podcast. How much time have you talked about Gopher Hoops? Like he starts drilling with questions. And like I say with everyone else who wants to start a podcast with us in general, it's like, okay, what's your plan? What's your overview? What's your release cadence? What's your clip schedule? Who's producing? Who's editing? And he'll say, no, it's just an audio-only podcast. Audio-only podcast, which doesn't make any sense. But it's just funny because every time we hear about Gopher basketball or it's brought up, it's just, Gopher Hoops.
Minners, how many games have we missed?
Minners, we've
Like
lost
maybe 2.
He was
Jake,
yelling
we've missed 2 games.
He was yelling at his roommate, who was fairly sober on Wednesday after the Twins game. How many games did we fucking miss last year, Minners? 2. We lost 2 games. We missed 2 games, Jake. We need to just give me the podcast. Just give it to me. So it's kind of.
He thinks a podcast just happens. Like
So-
you blink your eye and it's like, okay, an episode's out.
So it's like the Gopher Hoops bit. It's our unforeseen still podcast that doesn't exist, that may never exist, but it's still always going to be the Gopher Hoops. I think right now we have to just declare we have a Gopher Hoops podcast, but
I
it
agree.
just has no episodes.
Correct.
I find it really funny. I don't think I've ever met Phil. Maybe I have. But I would love to hang out with him because this guy sounds like he sounds electric.
He's a great dude. And I like talking Gopher. But the thing is, I really haven't had a substantive conversation about Gopher basketball beyond just I want a Gopher Hoops podcast. I'm like, let's talk about players. Let's talk about the record.
This is why I find it funny, right? Because it's not like something that none of us know about. Like Jake and I think might be the biggest Gopher basketball fans that have ever existed. And
Yes.
Jake and I could talk about Gopher basketball with each other.
Apparently,
for
you guys are not
fucking
the biggest
10
Gopher
years.
Hoops fans that exist, though.
Well, I didn't miss one game.
You know what?
Clearly
Oh,
not.
you know what we should do? All right, here's what we'll do. Someone write this down. We'll have a debate between it'll be you two versus Phil and Minners.
Let's go.
If they win the Gopher Hoops podcast, the wheels are in motion. Now, what that entails is probably not a lot based on how
They
much
just have
work.
to give us a business plan.
Correct. If you guys win, the conversation has to stop. Either
Yeah.
way, though, I think it would be hilarious to have Marlo draw up a Gopher Hoops logo, and then we'll create the podcast through Spotify, Anchor, one of our sponsors, for free, and then we'll just never upload an episode.
Yeah.
We'll come up with
I
a
mean-
bio, like Phil and Minners break down every game. It's an audio-only podcast about Gopher Hoops. And then it should also say we don't know when the season starts, because didn't you ask him, well, when does the season start? Testing you on Gopher Hoops, and he said, I don't
fucking know.
Jake, when does the season start?
It starts beginning of November. It's either
Who do
the
they
4th
play?
or the 6th.
So that's-
Who do they play?
exhibition.
Nope.
Well, you don't want exhibition. You literally want the first game.
Yeah.
Damn it! I just saw the schedule. I was just looking at it in depth.
November 4th, Bethune Cookman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So would some call that a red flag? Is when as a media company we just scored again? Hell yeah,
That's beautiful.
As a media company, we want to bring in, or a podcast comes to us that wants to start, and we ask them, okay, so you want to do a Gopher Hoops podcast? Cool. When does the season start? And they respond with, I don't fucking know. That's traditionally a red flag in the business world.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, I wouldn't be, and the thing is, like, I wouldn't be, like, as I'm biased, I love Gopher basketball, I wouldn't be ever, like, opposed to legitimately having a Gopher Hoops podcast.
Well, now you will, because it's hilarious.
It's so funny,
They
and that's
also,
our unique bit.
out of all of the Minnesota sports teams out there, they are the worst.
I know.
And I don't even think it's close.
And there's so much niche to it, but, like, that would be kind of funny if people understand the bit, like, this is a joking podcast about, like, one of the worst teams right now in our state. Maybe people would listen to it, but I still need I told him I would legitimately look it over if he just gives me a fucking one-page document on their plan.
Okay. Yeah.
I would
Sorry,
join it. It'd be funny, but, like, dude, I'm not gonna.
I'm a fake fan. It is the 6th, but Jake, we should take them on in a trivia battle because I really think we would wipe the floor with that.
I think we could, and you know what, like.
Jake and I on the same team for the first time ever.
Yeah, I think that would be very interesting. I think we should just bring him into do a segment. No, this is our buddy Minners and Phil. They're big Gopher Hoops guys. But then again, like, I feel like Minners, he's a calmer guy, like, not as drunk. He would like he wants to do it, but I think Phil is just he's the one driving.
We
it.
just got to take him to the Bulldog.
So, yeah, true. Take him to the Bulldog, get him fucked up.
Yep.
So, I've already done some of the work for them. Ready? So, the name of the podcast, Gopher Hoops. Ready? Here's the description of the podcast based on the information we've gathered from Phil. Phil and Minners break down Gopher Hoops. We only missed 2 games last year. When does the season start? I don't fucking know. And that's it. That's
like, don't you know?
That's the description.
I was expecting at least beginning of November in a few weeks.
Or maybe
No,
like
I don't
he
fucking know.
He Googled it, which takes about a half second.
Yeah,
And,
I know. And then it gets to the point where he's almost like it's like he's begging.
Oh, it's a
Come on,
fucking
go for
great-
hoops.
It's a great bit. I might
It's a
honestly have
great
to get
bit.
really into the Gophers this year just for
Yeah,
that. Like,
dude.
into Gopher. I'm not even a college basketball
Well,
guy in general. I might have to get
I
into it
love
this
Gophers.
year
Sad.
just so I can see him. Just so I can see him at a bar and start chopping up.
I want to
Gopher
go
hoops.
watch a game with them, like at Smack Shack. That'd be his spot. Let's go watch it at Smack Shack. Okay.
It would be hilarious. And then between like Jake's player knowledge and then my knowledge on like conferences and shit, there's just no chance they win.
No. Like I know I could name guys from the 2008 roster. It's crazy. It's weird.
Maybe next week on the show you should coordinate this. We could even do it. We could have them on Zoom.
Oh yeah, I should message them.
You should say, listen, if you want to do the show, you're going to go up against our 2 biggest Gopher Hoops guys here, which are Cam and myself, which is you. And I'll host. I'll come up with the questions. No one's allowed to Google. No one's allowed to have phones. And we'll call them in for like a 20-minute trivia show, and we'll see who
Let's
wins.
do this. I'm so ready.
And if they win, they can have the show. But
honestly, all we have to tell them, because they're so hyped up about this, say, if you guys win, you can give us a formal proposal on having a show, and then we'll just shut it down.
well, okay, yeah. Well, no, we'll listen to you because at this point they've provided that this whole thing would be a disaster based on some very obvious red flags. So we'll hear them out. We'll try again to hear them out if they win this.
Yes.
If we win it, though, I don't know. Maybe Maybe he has to buy you a Garcia jersey, which probably doesn't even exist.
No, he needs to.
I wouldn't want one.
He needs to buy
Get
me
a battle jersey because they're on clearance.
Yeah, Jameson Battle,
But an Ohio State version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think even if we win, I'd still say I want that 1-page document, which I don't think we'll ever get.
He screenshotted podcast plan template
Dude,
and texted it to Cam. Did you hear this part of the story yet? Jake, tell.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So get this. He was texting me like crazy on Saturday about it, right? Like this was a few days after Wednesday after he was going off about it. And he's like, Gopher Hoops, give me the podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you need to give me a plan. He's like, I don't need a plan. The plan is raw content.
By the way, this is the same guy who was burning the Homer hanky.
This is the same guy who's burning the Homer hanky, yes.
There's a correlation there.
So there's a huge correlation with this guy. Big sports guy. He actually sounds like he is one of us, honestly.
He absolutely is one of us.
But anyway, then I'm like, dude, you need to give me a podcast plan, like release cadence, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. He just sends me a screenshot or a screenshot of a project manager called Monday.com from Google Images. It wasn't even like something he typed in on his own, like coming up with a plan. He's like, here it is.
He also didn't save the image. He took a screenshot of the results from Google Images.
You could see the Google image, like resultmonday.com.
You could see a search at the top that just said podcast plan.
Podcast manager plan. It was ridiculous.
I think I know what if we win, what they have to do. They have to write a 5-paragraph essay in MLA format on why we know more than them and that why the Gopher Hoops podcast was a bad idea.
Yeah.
That gives us some incentive.
But he might just get drunk and he might just go right back into the cycle again.
That's perfect.
And he might just say Gopher Hoops, Jake. When's Gopher Hoops going to happen?
And then I'll be like, can we meet up so I can peer review it and edit it and give you a grade? Yeah, we can meet at Smack Shack.
Yeah.
Is that his thing? Smack Shack?
Oh, he
He's a
loves
big
Smack. He's a big
guy.
Smack Shack
Big
guy.
North
He's
Loop
rich,
It was
huh?
funny because on Wednesday, too, I was giving him shit for it, and he was kind of sober earlier in the game. I was like, I don't fucking love Smack Shack. We end up at Smack Shack.
Yeah.
At that night. Like,
There's
'cause it was
nothing
right by his
wrong with
apartment.
admitting you love a bar.
Yeah, no,
I do
it's
it all the
fine.
time.
There's no line there. It gets a little fucking hectic there on Saturday nights and Fridays, but like there's nothing to it. Just he lives right by it, so
Yeah.
no problem. Just submit it.
All right,
Go Hoops guy.
If I lived by In Cahoots and Hamel, I would have my last name on a bar stool. Greatest place
Yes.
on earth.
We have a guest on next week, don't we? We
Third
don't-
and Forever.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
Third and
perfect.
Forever on.
Perfect. So, yeah, we're going to Third and Forever, our football podcast, who actually presented a podcast plan to us. They'll be on next week because it's the Viking Packer preview, but we'll slide another segment in there, the Gopher Hoops trivia.
Third and Forever, the Viking football podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
As well as the Gopher Hoops.
And the Gopher Hoops trivia. I'll come up with the questions.
Gopher
but no
Hoops
one,
trivia.
no one's going to just so you know, I'm not going to rig this so that Jake and Cam dominate to laugh at these guys. I want to give these guys a fair shot. Because apparently they only missed 2 games last year, Jake.
I'm trying not to be
It's just
cocky, but
crazy.
I just don't think there's any chance they have a fair shot.
I don't think there is either, but I'm...
I just don't. I think I tried to get like information out of him, Phil specifically. Like, why do you love Gopher Hoops so much? He didn't go to school there. What? And he's just like, dude, just go for hoops. Like, okay.
If you were obsessed with Gopher hockey,
What?
that would make more sense because they were very good. They were number 1 team in the country for a long time, and they lost in the national championship.
It's just the name Gopher Hoops. That's all he refers it to is Gopher Hoops, Gopher Hoops, Gopher Hoops.
Yeah.
It's not Gopher Basketball or it switches up. It's just Gopher Hoops.
Yeah, Gopher Hoops.
I think we just called it the Gopher Hoops podcast by 10,000 takes.
Yep. Like I said, either way, we're going to upload a blank version. I already have the name in the description.
Yeah, Gopher Hoops podcast.
And there's going to be no episodes, which I don't know if you can even search and find it. It's just going to be more for the bit.
It should just be like one episode of a minute of us just saying Gopher Hoops, like repetitively.
We should just be like, Gopher Hoops. Minners and I only missed 2 games. Gopher Hoops. That's a great
I don't
bit.
know when the season starts.
That's a great bit. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out when you told the story, but
So
now that
good.
it happened, I'm happy.
We just might have to just make it a podcast and just have no episodes.
And then, I need to add to the description, audio only.
Audio only. That threw me off guard. No, it'll be audio only. We don't need video. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2023.
Oh
like,
my
you
gosh,
actually,
dude.
believe it or not, you do need video.
We make a Twitter space for them or a Twitter page for them, and they go live on a Twitter space, and it's just the live broadcast of Al Nolan commentating on Gopher Hoops.
Yeah, it's just Al Nolan.
It's just the game.
And I said, dude, so do you know? I think I asked him who's Al Nolan then. He's
Okay,
like, I don't know the
okay.
fuck that is.
Yeah, they stand no
Okay,
chance.
I've tweaked the description. Ready? Gopher Hoops podcast presented by 10,000 Takes, an audio-only podcast where Phil and Minners break down Gopher Hoops. We only missed 2 games last year, right, Minners? Question mark. When does the season start? I don't fucking know.
That is fantastic.
Dude, the people that we have come to know just because of this bit, this company is just insane. Like, it's just like this.
I feel bad. I feel like this Minners guy is probably getting lumped in.
Well, yeah, he's a very chill guy.
He's catching strays because he lives with Phil.
Because he lives with Phil, like he's a less drunk version of him that's more chill. And he was kind of like saying like, Phil, no, you need to have a fucking plan and blah blah blah. And like, even though he's willing to do it, but
Screenshots the plan.
he might just be looping him in.
That's straight out of Bubba's playbook.
Yeah, dude, I have a plan. No, this is the website I'm going to use for the plan, but it's not.
It was like when he was going to manage your guys' band, and you came downstairs and he was YouTubing
how to be a band manager.
Yeah, and he said a notebook.
And literally we gave him 30 minutes to start emailing venues for us because we were doing something else. Go upstairs, and he had wrote a half a sentence to the venue we had set him up with in the first place.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of this. The same old bit.
All right. Well, stick around for next week. I know. I'm just saying. Just listen. If you're listening to this a week after it came out, play the next episode to hear the Gopher Hoops trivia because that's going to be must-listen-to content. I also want to say that Phil needs to be at least 5 beers deep when he does it.
I'm pretty sure
that's
he always
another rule.
is,
I think that because I said like how I was asking him like how are you going to make this
live from Smack Shack?
Yeah, dude. That would be great. I think he mentioned something about that too.
Yeah, I know the manager. I'll talk to him.
Dude, okay. I mean, I was thinking of ways like, okay, how are you going to make this unique so it doesn't just seem like some stupid serious podcast on Gopher basketball, which already has less interest in the state, and that's the angle. Just a drunk guy yelling about Gopher Hoops and just doing crazy shit. I think that from Smack Shack, Gopher Hoops pod. Imagine just sitting in the corner. Hello, what's up? I'm Phil. Gopher Hoops podcast from 10,000 Takes.
I don't know who the fuck Al Nolan is. I don't know how you don't know who Al Nolan is.
Yeah, I don't know. I get if maybe someone maybe recently got into them in the last 5, 6, 7 years. If you went to college there, but he didn't go to school there. Al Nolan was 2010, but like, come on. I mean, Al Nolan was pretty prominent. I mean, goodness gracious. Unfortunately, got injured in 2010.
Good. All right, producer Cam, what's your bit?
Boys and girls, the hashtag hockey guy bit is back. This one is just more of a generic like overview of the whole bit. I'm seriously surrounded by hockey now, and I've never been happier. I'm playing hockey. I'm watching hockey every night. I'm going to hockey games. I'm in a fantasy hockey league. Like, I've just been trying to soak it all in like a little kid, and it's great. Like last night, I came home because we just moved into the new place, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to keep putting stuff away. I'm going to keep doing laundry just to like make sure everything's good. I go into my room, turn on my TV. Coyotes and Rangers are on. I sat there for like 2 hours and just watched the hockey game.
Dude, it's great.
It's so bad, but it's so great.
Well, on Monday night, like, Jack, me and you and Jack were watching football, then also trying to zoom around to hockey. I'm like, and we watched a couple games, but I'm like, damn, I would really actually like there to be Monday night hockey. That'd be so cool. Like if there were more games, and because that'd just be fantastic. I don't know.
Especially when Monday night football has kind of been atrocious this year.
Yeah, it's just one game too. Like it'd be nice to have a hockey game on too, and I don't know.
Well, they had 6 on last night, or 5 of them, but they were all at 6 p.m., which
exactly.
I didn't like.
So that's why by the time we were able to sit down and kind of watch the Monday Night Football, a lot of them were ending. We're like, shit.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
But it's electric. Like, I'll just sit there and, like I'm a dog, like, that's just stimulated by the TV, and I'll just, like, go back and forth and, like, study the players' names. Like, I'm so invested.
Especially when you have ESPN Plus and you can watch all the games.
That's what I've been doing.
I mean, as much as people bitch about the ESPN coverage and all of that, at least you can watch every game, whatever game you want.
I think MILF Mike from 10K Bets told us on
MILF
Saturday.
Mike, okay.
MILF Mike, that's the appropriate nickname I can give him. The other one I cannot say on air.
Does he prefer to be called MILF Mike?
I would imagine. He wouldn't want to be called that.
He did tell me I can publicly say that.
Okay, there you go.
The other nickname cannot be said.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But he did say, like, I think he confirmed with us on Saturday when they were doing their 10K Bet stream in here that they're like the ESPN streams are no longer blacked out. If
really?
they're on Bally
That's
Sports,
right.
yes. So
That's
you can
right.
watch this. You can go to because I was doing it. I tested it the other night. I'm like, oh shit, really? And I was watching on the ESPN app on my phone while we were watching it on Bally.
Thanks to the
So it's
broadcast.
crazy.
Thanks to the lawsuit.
If it wasn't for the
great.
Timberwolves, then I could cancel ESPN, or I could cancel Bally, but I still can't.
Wait,
Exactly.
so are they still going to broadcast the Twins and the Wolves?
Yeah, air one. They have to.
Are people still going to pay $12 a month for that?
I would imagine.
I don't know.
Probably not, but you never know. But at the same,
what is hockey going to do again? Are they just going to, as a temporary solution, allow people locally to watch it through ESPN? Because that would be pretty cool. If you did that and nothing else, I think hockey fans would be very happy.
Yeah, but what's going to happen with Anthony LaPanta and Ryan Carter?
I think it would just transfer over like it did for Fox Sports.
Yeah,
right?
they could still do it, right? They would just be technically employees of ESPN. That's actually a lot of people that ESPN has to pay after they just laid off a ton of people.
They would just do it ESPN. Well, I guess they could just strictly do ESPN. But then again, a lot of people would be upset that they can't watch. There's still
smarter
people that want to watch it on
that
TV.
can handle this, that will find a way to handle it, that we haven't vetted out yet.
People just want to watch it on TV, though.
People just want to watch
Stupid.
hockey. Man, just let everyone watch hockey.
Just watch hockey. We want hockey. I love hockey. Hockey's
We want to
in my
watch
blood.
hockey. We want to watch Gopher Hoops.
I have a boner for hockey.
We want to watch Gopher.
We want to watch Gopher Hoops. So if I can't get my Gopher Hoops, I mean, first few games are on like BTN Plus.
That
or
is
whatever.
one thing I'm scared about is, like I said, I'm a full-fledged #hockey guy, and I will never give that up. But I'm really scared. College basketball starts soon. You guys know how much I love college basketball. I'm like, I don't have enough TVs. What am I going to do? Because I can't just stop watching college basketball because I'm fully invested in hockey now. So I'm just going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can just get more TVs. Luckily, Black Friday does exist.
That is true.
It does exist.
Who just
You
got
can
their
get it.
ass kicked?
What?
Someone just got their ass
Oh yeah,
kicked.
shit. Who was that?
Who's number 6 again?
Duhaime has already been in a few fights.
Who's 6? I forget.
That is.
What was that? That's a guy we called up.
Yeah, that
Oh,
is that.
Mervis?
Is that Mervis or is that Patan? Or I'm sorry, I don't recognize. He looks like a fucking Walmart version of Anze Kopitar.
Dakota Mervis is playing.
That might be Mervis. 6.
Who's number 6? Is that Dakota Mervis?
That might be Dakota Mervis.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah, it's Mermis.
Remember? Well, Jake, you weren't there, but when we went down to Iowa to watch the Iowa Wild game, a ton of the players were at a brewery we were at, and Dakota Mermis was there.
Dakota Mermis.
And then he just kicked someone's ass in Montreal. So I'm glad he's making a name for himself in the show.
Mermis just got a 2.510 for that.
Wonderful.
That's not good.
#hockey guy.
Doesn't that mean he's done?
There's 6 minutes left. We're okay.
Oh, true.
We'll be okay. I think he probably already went right in the locker room. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our sitcoms draft.
Folks, we are in the heat of the sports season. We have NHL starting up, football, and baseball playoffs. We've got everything you need to start betting on sports. And you might ask, okay, where is a good place to legally sports bet? Well, we have the place for you. We have the Better Edge app, which is a legal online social betting marketplace that allows you to post and engage with other sports betting fans, place no commission positions in an online marketplace. You can compete in direct head-to-head challenges with your buddies and everything else and everyone else who you maybe have a little quarrel about with different teams and whatnot. You can also compete in public or private betting competitions. I know Better Edge does run some public betting competitions and tournaments where if the winner, you can win a prize or something like that. It's super cool. You can also buy or sell positions on the spread, over, under, the money line, the basic elements of sports betting. We got it all on this app. And you can do all that at current market prices. So if you use promo code 10K at betteredge.com, you can get a free $20 when you sign up and verify your ID. So once again, that is code 10K at betteredge.com to get a free $20.
All right, welcome back to It's a Bit. We're going to close out the show by drafting our favorite sitcoms, and specifically sitcoms that are not animated. They have to be live action, done by people, no animation, no cutscenes, none of that shit. All real people making jokes for a show. Doesn't have to just be a laugh track or live studio audience. This can be a legitimate, anything really, TV show that's funny. So I'm going to pass to you, journalist Jake, if you want to facilitate this, and we'll do 5 different rounds of it.
All right. Doon, doon, doo, 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 doon, doon. With the first overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
I fucking love you. I select I Think You Should Leave. The Tim Robinson show. It's one of our favorite shows ever. It's my favorite show ever. This is coming from a guy that doesn't watch a lot of TV. That show is fantastic, and we quote it about 200 times a day.
Is that considered a sitcom, though?
I think it is.
I know. I'm being dead serious. I'm not trying
Yes.
to, I just feel like, okay.
You're going to say that about all my picks.
Any TV show that's comedy is what I
That's
threw
literally
in there.
what we're doing.
I just think it's considered a sketch comedy. I think those are different than sitcoms.
I've just never hated you so much.
Sitcoms are situational, either live audience. No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
We already said it doesn't have to be live audience. We literally
No,
said that
I know,
before.
but a sitcom. I don't want to give away more answers, but no, it doesn't have to be live
I
audience.
think you should leave
Sitcom.
counts and we're moving on.
Sitcom would be like, I don't want to give away answers, but there's situational. It's situational. There's a plot. There's drama. As in, it could be still filmed in front of a live audience.
The Haunted House tour
Sketch
could have been
comedy,
filmed in front of a live audience.
But you know what I mean? It's
It
sketch
is
comedy.
fairly situational.
And it was filmed in front of a live audience.
Yeah,
They
but there's
did it
no
in a
plot to
drive-through.
it.
There was
I
innocent
wouldn't consider it
bystanders.
sitcom personally.
You're a moron. You just
That's
are mad
fine.
because I took it.
No, it wasn't even on my list.
I
at all.
hate you. Move on.
It's not even on my list 'cause it's not a sitcom. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the second overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, Jack selects.
The Office.
Oh, nope, not a sitcom.
That is a sitcom. 100% a sitcom.
I think I do think it's a little psychotic, Cam, that you didn't take that first overall.
Oh,
But The Office it's iconic. It's a great show. It's funny. It tugs your emotions a little bit. There were 9 seasons of it, maybe 10, maybe even more. Just a very, some would say, I don't know why people think Cheers is like the best show of all time. I think The Office is the best show of all time in terms of comedy, in terms of plot, in terms of everything. I think The Office is incredible. Acting, I feel like the whole interview thing was before its time. There weren't a lot of shows where it would cut to someone being interviewed at the same time. I feel like The Office kind of trailblazed on that, especially with the gym looks. I mean, the way that it's just pure genius. Everything about it is fantastic.
The Office is fantastic. It makes me laugh so much, especially now that I'm an adult. I tried to watch it in like high school. I hated it.
Right, because you don't
understand
understand anything.
But like, it's fantastic, but it doesn't consume my life like I Think You Should Leave does. So that's why Office was close. I almost picked it, but I Think You Should Leave literally consumes my life.
Yeah. No, I agree too. I think You Should Leave makes me laugh harder than The Office does. I think The Office just is able to. They do have some very serious storylines that tug your emotions, and that's why people love it so much. But I think You Should Leave is probably a funnier show overall. But I think The Office is just quality in general, and there's more seasons of it. I think You Should Leave is one of my favorite shows, but there's one season that comes out every 2 years, and it's just like 7 or 8 16-minute episodes. There's not enough. I want more Tim Robinson, more than him at just Lions games. But yeah, long story short, The Office is my pick.
Yes, that's a good one. The Orifice. All right.
Orifice. That's Pornhub's version of it.
Yes,
Jake.
it might be.
Is
There might be
that
something.
your pick?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll write it
No.
down. Put it on the graphic.
All right. You could if you want to. Ding, 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 ding. With the third overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, I myself, journalist Jake, go with Everybody Loves Raymond. Fucking fantastic sitcom growing up, like watching it with my parents. Still watch it. It's a great it's so relatable with they do a great job with the situations of the family and the makeup and the element of it. It's just fantastic. Ray Romano is great, and just his brother and everything. It's just a great fucking comedy. Like every episode is so funny. It can be relatable to the older you get, but just dealing with family and everything. But it's fantastic. The parents living across the street, always bombarding in the house, and just it's great. The jealous brother.
Mom's always trying to feed you. Dad's always pissed off
Yep.
watching the TV.
Yeah.
The brother. Didn't they try to make a spinoff of Robert, and it just did not go well?
I don't know if they did.
Or maybe that. No, I think
Maybe it was-
I think that was a Family Guy bit where they said everybody loves Robert. He's like, oh, I miss Ray. He's
Yeah.
like, I bet Deborah made him something he didn't like.
Yeah.
I bet she got mad at him when he complained about it, and then he's like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
I think
it was from Family Guy.
That was a bit.
I've only
Raymond.
I've only watched it a couple times. I don't get it. Like for me, I just never have.
I think you honestly need to be married to truly understand that show. Because my
Probably.
dad used to howl at that
Yeah.
show growing up.
I like probably why I like it is my parents used to watch it religiously growing up,
Right.
and they'll still watch it when I go over there sometimes, and I don't know. I think it's just hilarious.
TBS in general is a station that is targeted towards older married couples.
It's for older married couples, and then March Madness and playoff
It's
baseball.
not really.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not really on TBS. It's on TV Land now.
Okay,
but it was aired on CBS.
It was on. Wasn't it on TBS?
No,
though, back in the day?
CBS.
They used to run episodes on TBS.
Yeah, they probably did, but it originally aired on CBS.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was like a mainstream.
But they probably did reruns on TBS. Now it's pretty much on TV Land, which is, a lot of the older
I just
folks,
thought of this.
so-
We're gonna have to do this again for game shows.
Ooh,
Most likely, yes.
That is a good one, although
game shows.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot recently, but a lot of
either.
times
Because now
growing
they're
up-
all so fucking. There's one like called "Is It Snake Oil" now on Fox or
saw
CBS.
that.
I'm like, I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole. What the fuck is snake oil?
They've run out of ideas.
Yeah, seriously.
Honestly, they
There's
and
still
they
some
have,
classics.
They have,
I think it's
running out.
hosted by David Spade, and I love him. But it's like maybe we should just stop game shows.
just let's be
No.
done. It's done. All right.
Or just run the same ones you've been running since the 90s. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I
Price
know.
is Right, Wheel of Fortune, fucking Jeopardy, or not Jeopardy, no, Jeopardy. Yeah, Jeopardy's one. Aaron
Jeopardy.
Rodgers can do that now that his leg is destroyed.
Yeah,
Like,
you
whatever.
can go back to hosting it.
Yeah.
I guess. All right. Doom, ding, doo, 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 ding, doom. With the 4th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
Snake draft. Aren't we doing snake drafts
We never
now?
do
Oh.
snake. Oh yeah, we do.
We
now.
are starting to do that again. I forgot about
I
that.
flipped the script on that.
Yeah, now it beat me in the ass.
Flip of the script. All right.
Ever since Cam drafted Jesus in the superheroes for
Yeah. God. Drafted God.
drafted God in the best athlete. What was that draft again?
Superheroes. Or
No, it was
something.
the people you want on your side in a fight.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I
We've
wasn't
needed to
wrong.
implement the snake draft
Yeah.
order.
You're up, Jake.
All right.
Fleury, by the way, Fleury got the W.
He got the dub. He
Quite
got the
possibly his last game in
And
Montreal.
I do want to add Marlo is a practicer of witchcraft because he started off Wild Takes episode today because it's not releasing till Thursday. So he was just like, yeah, the Wild had a fantastic 5-2 win over the Canadians.
No.
And it just fucking happened.
He should have put money on that.
I know.
Wait, did he legitimately
he
say
did that. He,
Wow. By the
he
way-
recorded today.
I have a friend who does that out in Vegas. He said anytime he's in Las Vegas and the Wild play, bet 2-1 at the end of the first period every time.
Jeez.
You get it at like plus 900 or some crazy odds. He says
Damn.
it hits more often than you'd think. So betting on specific scores might be the move.
That might be the move.
10K bets.
10K bets. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 4th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, I myself, JJ select. I'm going to have to go with Malcolm in the Middle. Just a great fucking show. It's I've grew up watching it and recently watched it again. It's fucking hilarious. Frankie Muniz, who's now a driver, but the show I related to it so much because it's like
Wait, he's a driver, like an Uber driver?
no, he's a
NASCAR
He's literally a
driver.
NASCAR driver. Like he's in one
what?
of like the levels. Like he's like in
not
the
in,
minor
like, the
leagues.
Cup Series, but yeah, he's in
Yeah,
NASCAR.
that's fucking
equivalent to
cool.
the minor leagues of that. But like that show is so fucking funny. Like Hal, Bryan Cranston, who is the guy, the guy in Breaking Bad or whatever. There's a bunch of
Yep,
sirens
then he
going off here.
shaves his head and cooks
someone's
meth. Yeah, I know
dying
what you're talking
outside.
about.
It might be, but and then it's essentially like 3 brothers. I mean, they have a total of 4 brothers, well 5 later on because they just keep having kids. But it's pretty much 3 brothers. Malcolm is like the middle child, and I was the middle child of 3 brothers growing up, and I literally related to that show. A bunch of kids just literally beating up each other, picking on each other, and just I don't know, being crazy. And the mom is being Lois in the show is always trying to be super punish the kids and stuff, but. I don't know. It's a funny show. Always a good show to like fall asleep to and everything. It's great.
They gave Fleury a standing ovation, even
They
though
did. Yes. Nice.
his friends and family made up a quarter of the stadium.
Yep. I love it.
No, yeah, Malcolm in the Middle. I haven't seen a ton of that, but I watched it a little bit in middle school. I remember that was another show where mom was always pissed, just like Deborah.
And then, yep, exactly. Except worse, probably. And then Bryan Cranston playing the dad. He was always on a new shtick. Like he was almost like Randy from South Park or something, just trying to do something new and different. Like it's just a great show.
I think I've only seen like 2 episodes of it, so I can't really say anything about it.
Yeah, it's a good. There's some seasons that are better than others for
Is that
sure.
on Netflix now, Hulu.
I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
it's a
Hulu
great
has
show.
all the good sitcoms. by
It's
the
so
way.
funny.
Hulu's got good shit. People
Hulu.
people
Hulu.
rip on it.
I would say Hulu's better than Netflix. Hot sports take.
That is a hot sports take that
That is hot.
But that's like comparing apples and oranges to me. I don't think one is better than the other.
Rapid
considering
hot.
that I love stuff on every platform. Anyways. All right.
All right. Doon, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 5th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, Bossman selects.
I'm going to go with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This is why I was so excited. I thought I was going to get it.
Truly an amazing show. Very funny about, a ton of jerks in Philly. Actually, they were going to call it Jerks. If you listen to their podcast, the It's Always Sunny podcast, they were thinking of names. They still hate the name It's Always Sunny, by the way. They were going to do Jerks, but it was just too vague.
Yeah.
But just a great show about a bunch of degenerates who own a bar, and they just get into these crazy situations. They ruin people's lives. It's very cringe humor. They're awful people, and they only get worse as the show goes on, but it's just some of the funniest shit you'll ever watch. So I have to go with It's Always Sunny. I think it perfectly encapsulates the people in Philly. Like, if you stuck Dee, Dennis, Frank, and Charlie in the middle of an Eagles game, I think they fit right in. If no one knew who they were, or if they were actual people based on real people in Philly and you put them in a stadium, I think no one would be able to know that these are not even real people, that they're from a TV show.
I know.
Such a good show. It's so good.
It's fantastic. They're everything they get into. They're so manipulative and everything, and
Yep.
it's just fantastic.
It's never
They're
their
assholes.
fault. They're all terrible. They all have their own massive vices that only get
Such a-
worse as the show goes on. They're all blatant alcoholics to the point where they all almost die in an episode.
I know.
Spoiler alert, because they don't drink. So
It's great.
It's such an easy watch too.
Yep.
Like it's fantastic.
it's a good background show.
Yep.
Throw it on in the background.
It is great.
So yeah, it's
All
always
right.
sunny.
Doon, doon, doo, 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 doon, doon, with the sixth overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
I'm gonna go with Workaholics. That show makes me laugh probably just as much as I think you should leave. All the characters are fantastic. It's genius, and I don't think they make shows like it anymore. And
They don't,
it's so
especially with
good.
that show, because it's such dumb humor.
Yeah,
It is it's the dumbest of humor. It's three idiots who live together, and they just get high and drunk all the time. And anytime they have a chance to better their lives, they just decide to stay in their current spot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the bits that come out of that show are just fucking awesome.
so good.
Yeah, like it's been a while since I watched it, but like Let's Get Weird is a great bit in there, and like but yeah, Adam in that show.
When they start wrestling each other and they both get boners.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
then they have to
We're
stop.
fully torqued, dude.
They
We're
both
fully
have
torqued.
to stop, and then they sit for 10 minutes, and then they get up in 10 minutes again, and they decide to start fighting again
Yeah.
now that both of them are flaccid. And then they start fighting again, and they get boners again.
Yeah.
Just like only stupid dudes would enjoy this type of humor.
So
but
funny.
Yeah, or like it is super tight butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? No, that is like the loosest butthole. Like it's so fucked
they
up.
do a ton of mushrooms, and they camp out in the office.
Yep.
And then they think that they're being
God.
robbed, but it's just the IT guys.
Yes.
It's just stupid shit like that.
Yeah, there's so much
great.
great comedy out of that.
Yep.
All right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo with the 7th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
I'm gonna go with New Girl. This is one that I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
just
I didn't
recently
even have that on my list.
Yeah, I just recently started watching it, and I am obsessed. It's another one that's an easy watch, like most sitcoms are, but the dynamic between I don't know.
Nick Schmidt and
Yeah,
Winston.
I can't really explain it, but it's fantastic, and I
Yeah.
never want to stop watching it.
Yep. Fucking dude, some of the shit that Schmidt says in that show. He's so quick-witted, and the shit he says so fast is so outrageous. It's a whole new level of comedy there.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick in the show.
Or he doesn't know what afterbirth is. He goes, "Oh, afterbirth? Is that like a party you have after the birth?" Well, we could get some Schmidt up in there. And he has that stupid grin on his.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his personality, and then Nick Miller and everything is
Nick
great.
Miller's just cheap and
Yeah.
dumb, but loving.
Stupid.
And,
Yeah, I know.
and then
You
when-
can't hate him.
Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Fat Schmidt.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
god.
And he's
It's
just
so
fucking
good.
stoner.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's such a great show.
Yeah, that's a good show. All right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo with the 8th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, Bossman selects.
Now, this is weird because there are some in my little bank here that I watch more than this show. I actually haven't seen every episode of this show, but when I do watch it, it's fucking hilarious. Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's on Max, and I didn't have Max, which is HBO Max, for a little while there, so I had to stop watching it because my subscriptions are just through the roof. But I have Max again, thanks to houseboy Donnie. He left it on the TV that I'm taking to my apartment. And I'm going to binge Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've only seen a few of the newest seasons, and let me tell you, it is some of the funniest humor. It's pretty similar along the lines of It's Always Sunny. It's just very petty bullshit that you would think no one would ever complain about or start in the real world, and then this show happens. Larry David's hilarious. He obviously wrote Seinfeld. He's been involved in a lot of things. And apparently the best part about this show is he's like this in real life. So here's like an example. He was at a driving range in LA. Some guy on Twitter was standing behind him in line to get a bucket of balls. And the guy said, okay, a large bucket is $9. And Larry David sat there, a multimillionaire who plays this character in the show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, complained that it wasn't $10 because now he has to have change and hold on to that dollar. And he got into it with the person working about it. So I think it's even funnier that this guy is like this in real life. But if you haven't seen the show, I think he's like he's a writer or a producer, and he's just the most petty person ever. Complains about he's a goofball. It's funny, and I need to watch the older seasons. I've only seen the newer ones. It's a great show, so I had to do Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, he was the, I think, executive producer of Seinfeld.
Yep.
Yeah, so
if you've never heard of any of these people or any of the show, you've heard just memes. Yeah, that's what it's from. That show. And that's usually right after he does says or does the dumbest thing in the show as that music plays. So. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Is this the 9th?
Yep.
I'm getting
1, 2, 3,
confused.
4,
The
5,
snake
6, 7,
throws me
8.
off a little bit.
This is 9.
All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 9th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, going with another live audience one, King of Queens, with Kevin James and Leah Remini.
I can tell you watched a lot of TV with your dad growing up. It seems like something your parents would watch.
Yeah, King of Queens I didn't get into until, everybody does Raymond for sure, but King of Queens I didn't get into until like in the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, honestly. And it's just, but it's such a funny fucking show. Like it's one of those shows that you can watch over and over again. And every episode, Kevin James is fantastic. Like his fucking sayings, like they were at the DMV sitting in line because I think Carrie, his wife, is waiting to get get tested again or get her eyes checked or something. And he's like, we're at the DMV. Like he does shit like that in the show. That's just great, and it's just fantastic, and it's just great old sitcom that I think ran. Got Arthur Stiller plays Carrie's dad in the show. He's just fantastic, always yelling, and yeah, Ben Stiller's dad. He's always yelling in the show, and it's just fantastic. It's a great show.
What was I going to say about that? Oh, the Kevin James meme that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Just taking the internet by storm.
Yeah, and that's from King
He's
of Queens.
he's like a UPS driver, right?
Yeah, but they call it IPS in the show.
Right.
But for copyright, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's essentially
his wife's dad lives in like their basement,
Yeah,
right?
lives in their
And
basement.
He's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's
he's
so
just
funny.
always nuts trying to do shit. He's always like, Douglas, I got a preposition.
And then he's buddies with the cop, right? Or am I thinking of...
Well, there's a...
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Mike and Molly. That's a whole different...
that's a whole different thing.
He's
but,
buddies with a guy at work.
Yeah, what's his name? Deacon.
Yeah.
Deacon.
That's like his best friend.
And then his cousin or his brother in real life plays his cousin in the show, and then Patton Oswalt's in the show too as his other dumb friend, and it's so fun. It's such a funny show.
Kevin James is the best.
Yeah,
He is.
That show is just fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, ding. With the 10th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, I myself, JJ, select Arrested Development with Jason Bateman. It only ran for a few years on Fox in the early 2000s, but then it then got picked up by Netflix for a couple more seasons, which weren't as good, but it was still funny. Like Jason Bateman, Will Arnett. It's such a great show. Like it's so fucking funny. It's just this dysfunctional family that does crazy shit that their dad, and there's so much one-liners from that show. Like there's always money in the banana stand or no touching or whatever. Like there's just some crazy shit out of that show, but it's a great show.
That show and Parks and Rec are two shows that I know people really love that I just haven't seen.
Yeah, I've never seen either.
And I recognize...
You ever seen Parks and Rec?
I know. I recognize it's a
geez.
problem, and I'm working on it.
See, Parks and Rec, I'm surprised by. Arrested Development, not so much because it was early 2000s and it only ran for a couple years like when we were kids. But Parks and Rec was like in the heat
I
of
know.
our,
People rank that
Trend.
as a top 10 sitcom of all time. So I
Yeah.
I know I need to watch Parks and Rec. Don't rip on me. I'll do it. Okay.
yeah, you got to do it.
Yep. I'll do it.
Never seen either.
You need to give.
You got to give.
GoCutJeans.com.
All right.
Situational comedy.
Sketch comedy.
Cam?
Sitcom.
It is sitcom stands for situational comedy, which is different from sketch comedy. I actually just looked it up.
A
Definitions are
television
separate.
series that involves a continuing cast of characters in a succession of comedic circumstances. Situational comedy.
Situational comedy,
Sounds
which
like I think you should
no,
leave.
because it doesn't have the same characters in
I
each
kind of
Oh,
see.
it does.
I kind of see what it has the same actors, but they're not the same people.
They're not the same characters. It's literally a linear continuation.
I kind of see what you mean now.
hate
Yeah,
it
no,
here.
there literally is a definition for
Sorry,
it.
I
Cam,
hate it here.
Cam, you are wrong on that one.
That still counts.
I had
It's
it on my
sketch
list
comedy.
though. If it makes you feel better, I had it on my list
It's
too.
sketch comedy, not a sitcom.
It is
but it
different.
still
It
counts.
is a little different. Okay. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 11th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, Bossman selects.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, I didn't even think of
One of
that.
the
What
greatest things to
fuck?
come out of Canada next to hockey and syrup is Trailer Park Boys. A very, once again, dumb comedy show that people my age, specifically probably men, would prefer to watch. But hopefully some women out there too love it. But it's a very funny show about three guys who grew up together, who live in a trailer park, and they get drunk and high, and every season is pretty similar. They get out of jail from the season before. They have some crazy idea on how to break the law. They almost get away with it. They do something stupid and bring guns into it. They get arrested. The whole thing starts over. Basically for 11 straight seasons, but so many good bits. I mean, Julian, if you've ever seen memes, he's got a very tight black T-shirt. He has a cocktail in every single scene of every season of every episode. Ricky is just really stupid, and Bubbles is fairly smart, but still associates with these two guys. And there's so many supporting characters. Jim Leahy, R.I.P., Randy. Just a fucking amazing television show,
the
which
best.
started with probably a whole $20 budget. I think a lot of people say they don't watch it because the first season is so hard to get through, but I promise you, if you can get through the first 2 or 3 seasons, you'll get it. And better yet, you'll be able to go back to those seasons and rewatch them and understand what they were going for. Fucking amazing show.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got that in the 4th round is crazy.
Kind of is, yeah.
Yeah. But there's just so many great sitcoms out there.
Pretty sure I just saw a firework go off.
Oh, nice. Are you sure it was a firework in St. Paul?
Was it? Are you sure it wasn't a gold RPG?
It could have been.
Could be right at our
One
building.
of those
Who knows?
crackheads shooting
That'd
one
be
up
scary.
here.
Tilted Towers.
Yeah.
You did say, you were describing, though, Julian, who wears a tight black T-shirt. You mean a sexy black
a sexy
T-shirt.
black T-shirt, sorry.
As Mr. Leahy says on the show.
Yep.
All right.
He's the king of Shitty City, and Julian's the muscular mayor.
Yep, exactly. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 12th overall pick of the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
This one's right up my alley. I'm going to go with The League.
It's a great one. I had it on my
It's
list.
fantasy football. It's comedy. Those are like some of my 2 favorite things in this world. It's just hilarious. Taco kills me. I think about Taco at least twice a day. And the dynamic between all the friends, it just plays so well.
People forget that Taco was the writer, producer, and artist of Show Me Your Genitals.
Yes, John LaJoie, and also High as Fuck.
Yep. Guns Don't Kill People.
I kill people.
I kill people
I
with
come
guns.
too fast. I come too fast.
Yeah, he was doing that before the
Oh
league,
yeah,
right?
He was
was an early
became
YouTube
famous
guy.
on YouTube, and
Yeah.
then I don't know if he just got that gig through YouTube, but yeah, he was a YouTube. I remember that was viral. To Show Me Your Genitals back when I was like.
I remember my friend showing me that when I was probably way too young to.
He
be
showed you
watching.
his genitals?
Jean Joie.
Have you ever heard the song?
No,
You
I
ever
know,
seen
but-
It's very sexist.
I
Show me
have,
your
but
genitals.
it sounded like you said your friend showed you.
Genitalia.
Oh, no. My friend showed me the video of Taco singing "Show Me Your
Knock,
Genitals."
knock me again. Still
What's it-
wondering why
what's-
you're not naked.
What's his name?
John LaJoie.
Speaking of the flower, he must be from fucking.
He's
Yeah.
from Cold Black for
Yeah.
sure.
Quebec?
I always called him John LaJoey because that's just how he looks, but it's like the Rossi Rossi bit.
Yeah.
It's just easier, but I think it's John LaJoie.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
He's hilarious.
yep.
Yeah, he's great.
All right.
That whole show's great.
It is. It's fantastic.
I still think about
Yo, Bagoya.
when I'm in the bathroom and I put the soap out and then the water doesn't go. I always think of Kevin just getting so angry at automatic sinks.
I know.
So like when you have to move over to the next one and that one doesn't work, I'm literally Kevin right now.
There were literally so many relatable moments outside of just the fantasy football aspect, like the picking on each other's fan groups and then
Yeah.
coming up with nicknames. They literally had bits in their group.
And I guarantee at least 75% of fantasy football leagues, there's someone in that league that uses bits from that show. Like when we did the 10K draft last year, I remember we were doing a live stream and Trevor from the Has-Beens was like, I'm going to go roster bait right now, like
Yeah.
BRB. So
Yep.
there's so many good bits that come out of that show
So
if
funny.
you're a fantasy football
Also,
player.
Nick Kroll is so
Yes.
good in that show.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of good stuff, but me personally, I think that's the best he's ever done.
Him and then Rafi.
Yeah, Rafi.
I remember
Jason,
there was a tweet thread that said like, take a screenshot of an actor who plays the same character in every show and movie, and the first one that popped up was him because he plays a fucking crazy guy on drugs in every single thing you see him in, but he does such a good job of it to where it's like, why would he ever do anything different?
Right.
I know. Rafi. Yeah.
Rafi Bomb.
Yeah, Rafi Bomb or Danica.
His apartment, his toilet is also his sink.
Yeah.
And then he puts hot dogs in his pockets.
right.
So
He just
fucked up, dude.
Pocket dogs.
That's a Bubba move.
I still, whenever I make hot dogs, I think of like, should I just throw this in my pocket and save it for later as like a pocket dogs?
Yeah, pocket dogs. I fucking love
great
it.
bit.
It's great.
Great pick.
All right.
All right, Cam, your last one.
Yeah, is it the 14th pick?
Something like
Okay,
13th.
We each have 4, so Matt, they're 13th.
13th.
With the 13th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, producer Cam selects.
This is the steal the draft, and I want you to keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth because I'm going with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, nice. Yes, it's a great one.
I almost forgot about it, but it's so good. Uncle Phil just tugs at your heartstrings, especially that scene where there's nothing left in the living room. I almost cried. You have Carlton, the butler, or not the butler, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Carlton, who does America's Funniest Home Videos now, which is super weird. Every time I watch that, because it's always on at my parents' house because they're boomers.
Boomer.
It kills me because I just always think of this show. It's the best.
Yeah, that's a great show. It's a
I
good
hate
throwback.
Philadelphia, but man,
Yeah.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah.
It is great.
But he made it. He went to Cali.
He
and
did.
stuff.
He
did,
moved
technically.
to the big city and he made it in Bel Air.
And he
And
punched Chris Rock.
if you grew up on that show like we did, anytime anyone mentions the city of Bel Air within the Los Angeles area, which is where it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks of Fresh Prince first.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
And
Think of
everyone
Will
starts
Ferrell.
singing.
Will
He,
Ferrell.
he,
Will Smith.
he literally put that place on the map, at least in terms of us flyover states.
Yeah.
So
It's fantastic. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 14th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, Bossman selects.
I got That 70s Show, an absolute icon, especially considering it takes place in the Midwest in Wisconsin, pretty close to where we all grew up. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin, but you know, it's the very stereotypical dynamic. You know, you have mom who's an absolute sweetheart, always tries to protect the boys. You have dad who was in the military, kind of a hardo, goes hard on the kids, but has a sweet spot as well. You have the classic friend group, Eric, you know, oh my God, why can't I think of Ashton Kutcher's?
Kelso.
Kelso,
yeah.
he's like kind of the idiot, but he, you know, gets the chicks. You have like Donna and Jackie. It's just Fez. Fez is absolutely electric. Just a great show. You have the guy from Family Guy, who Robot Chicken guy too, who's the
Seth Green.
Seth Green, who's the
Whatever.
first fringe dude on
Yep.
TV.
Yep, exactly.
So just an iconic show. That's a show I actually have on my list to rewatch because it's been a couple of years and I
Yeah.
feel like I've forgotten a lot of it. But if you grew up in the Midwest, you know, you went down in the basement. I feel like especially kids who grew up in the 70s, like our parents could watch that show and really relate to it.
It's so good. I should rewatch that.
Yeah.
It's another easy watch. You put it on at night, you go to bed happy. It's just a very good show. They always go to that place. What is the place with where they always get fries? And
Yeah, I forgot what it's
stuff,
called.
and-
It's been a while.
And then they get high in the smoke circle.
At the end
Yep.
of the episode.
When
That's great.
when Red finally finds
Yep.
out they do the smoke circle.
Yep.
I'm gonna shove my foot up your ass.
Yeah, exactly. I love his bits.
The
with
red
that.
Corvette, man. Yeah, everyone. If you haven't watched that whole entire show in the last 2 years, put it on your list right now because fuck, it's funny and I need to rewatch.
What is it on?
It's on. Oh, what is
It
it
used to be on Netflix, but they took
I
it
think
off.
they
It could be on Hulu.
Might have moved it to Hulu.
But maybe it's back on Netflix because they came out with That 90s Show or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't
Sucks,
fucking know.
by the way. Have
I'm
you
gonna
seen
Google
that?
No,
It's
I've never
awful.
even watched it. I never
Well,
had the interest.
yeah, I mean the whole Danny Masterson thing is probably not a great look for the show.
No.
So I don't know who is going to still keep it on, but
Yeah.
You know, it really sucks.
Fun
about him,
fact
'cause
though is he's brothers with the actor who plays Francis, the older brother in Malcolm in the Middle.
it looks like it's on Amazon.
Could be
Prime.
Amazon Prime. Like watch it for free on Prime.
I don't know.
people forget too. If you ever are struggling to find a streaming service that your show is on, you can rent from YouTube. I do that all the time with
It's
shows
on,
and movies.
It's on Peacock.
Okay, there you go. Same place The Office is on.
The Cock.
I thought The
Peacock.
Office. was on Hulu.
No, The Office is on.
They moved it
Peacock.
to Peacock
Oh,
because
that's right,
it's
Peacock.
NBC's.
Yep.
It's NBC's bit.
Does NBC own that 70s show? Were they the ones who aired it originally?
I thought it was
Can't remember.
CBS or ABC.
I thought it was CBS for
I mean,
sure.
they can have it on Peacock still because
They
I'm
could
pretty
just buy
sure
the rights to it.
I'm pretty sure like King of Queens is on there, and that was CBS. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, I forgot about, dude, crazy story. The sister from that, Lisa Robin
She
Kelly,
died.
she's dead. And she looked really rough in her older years. Do you guys remember?
yeah. She had like a Dewey. Yeah, that picture was. Well, it's still loading.
Oh, sorry. This is a video. I feel like
was a
a
news
fucking boomer.
What's her
now.
name?
Well, this is what she looks like now.
Yeah, before she
That's
died.
what she looked like. Remember how hot she was in
Yeah,
the show?
she.
Holy
I think she
fuck.
like started doing meth and became an alcoholic. So that's
Yeah.
what. Don't do drugs, folks.
She was like
Robin
she,
Kelly, right?
Yeah, she was like the older sister who went to Madison and was just clearly a whore.
Yep,
like
clearly.
they insinuated that she had a new boyfriend every
Yep.
week, and
She was
but
a
she would hit on Kelso all the time. And
Did
he's
you
like,
see
"Your
her-
sister's so hot."
Did you see her mugshot?
It's rough,
Yeah.
dude. It's really bad.
Holy balls.
It's like it's straight
I
out of a
know.
horror. She looks like
She wasn't
needs
even
an-
that old.
She needs an exorcism.
I
That
know.
photo.
It's so sad.
It's terrible.
That is
R.I.P.
It's horrible.
She was really hot though.
She was. All right, on to the final pick. All right, the 15th. With the 15th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft. Oh, I forgot to do the fucking music.
Yeah, Jake,
Ding,
fuck
ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 15th overall pick in the best sitcoms draft, I myself, JJ, select. You're going to like this one. Well, you might not like it. You'll just recognize it.
The plan.
Not the plan.
Oh my God, you've been singing this fucking song for the last 3 days straight.
A lot of people that don't, I mean, people probably know, but it's if you will know it by the music, but it's the Red Green Show. And this show I grew up watching all the time. And I honestly, if I didn't recently get back into it and see it come back up on like feeds and rewatch it, I probably wouldn't have included this on this list because I would have forgot about it. But like watching it again from a kid to now, it's a fucking hilarious show. It's out of Canada. I think it was on CBC when it was on air from like 91 to 2006. But it would be on certain affiliates in the U.S. and it would ironically be on PBS, but it would be on PBS on late Friday nights. So it wasn't a kids program by any means, but it was family friendly comedy. But they would swear in it sometimes and everything. But it was really almost like a parody of like Home Improvement kind of, but a Canadian version of that.
That's an honorable mention for me. Home Improvement.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And so, yeah, and that was a great show too. But this show would kind of make fun of that. It was a live audience thing, but it was just these guys in Canada at the Possum Lodge. They would have a prayer that they would do at the end of, they'd have a Possum Lodge meeting at the end of every episode. And they would be like, stand up to do the man's prayer. Okay, I'm a man, but I can change if I
Yep.
have to, I guess.
Yep.
So it's fantastic.
Do we want to go around the room listing honorable mentions? I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So Letterkenny,
Yeah,
missed the
Letterkenny.
cut.
Fuck.
Along with Letterkenny, Shoresy, which only
Yeah.
has one season, but I'd say it's earned it. I do really like. Let me keep going down. Blue Mountain State was great. Growing up watching that.
There's so many.
Yeah.
You see, you have to like Google it because you forget. What
I know,
you've
that's what I
watched.
had to do, 'cause I'm
Silicon
like-
Valley on HBO was great.
Yeah, Community is a funny one. If anyone's, it was
Rick and
Chevy
Morty.
Chase.
That's technically
That's animated.
That's animated, so we can't.
We're
go
not
with
including
that.
animated
We're not including
sitcoms.
that.
Well, I mean, I mentioned Seinfeld,
I actually have a disclaimer.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
For all of you that are pounding on your radios or your phones because we didn't mention Friends, it's because Friends sucks.
I never
and
liked
I've never
Friends.
fucking laughed at Friends once, and it's the most overrated show in America.
Jennifer Aniston is hot in the show,
Yeah.
but I tried watching an episode or two. Like, what is the shtick about this? I could not get
the
into
show
it.
is so bad, and it's the most overhyped thing I've ever seen in my life.
Couldn't watch it.
I'm not gonna lie. We will get torn apart on the graphic for not including Seinfeld. We didn't grow up on Seinfeld. That
Seinfeld
was-
also sucks.
It's not,
Seinfeld-
it's a different generation.
It's-
Like that's not funny to us. Like it's too appropriate for us.
Seinfeld is funny, but
I
it's
want
not.
dick and fart humor.
Whoa.
But the thing is, like, I'd pick. But the thing is, like, King of Queens and everybody was Raymond. Like, they did come out a little later than Seinfeld. They were on at the same time, but I don't know. I never really liked it as much as those.
Yep.
But it was fantastic.
Schitt's Creek is great. If you've
Schitt's
seen
Creek,
that.
yes.
There's so much shit I'm leaving out that like I'm gonna be mad I didn't even mention in this series, but in this.
Yeah, there's some. I just saw one that How I Met Your Mother is great
Oh,
too.
that was another one that was on my list.
That was fantastic.
That's a fantastic show.
Great show. Yeah, Yeah, Modern Family's funny. I mean, I didn't like it as much as other people did, but it was still funny. The Middle was funny.
Yep.
The Middle. Yeah, I think I said Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, that was.
Anyone ever watched 30 Rock?
I did a little bit growing up. I mean,
Alec Baldwin's not funny.
It
to
was funny, but
It was okay.
Yeah, Andy's a murderer.
I've never
People love that show, and I didn't really ever get into it.
Ever since he was in Cat in the Hat, I thought he was a creepy rapist. Just kidding.
Yeah. And the Cat in the Hat. Yeah.
He's just weird. I don't like him.
Oh, he's
and
a weird
you're
dude.
right. He kills people.
Yeah. He did technically kill
I am
people.
Googling like the top, by the Rolling Stone, top 100 sitcoms of all time.
I was reading that actually today.
I mean, there's no way you can list this without being biased because TV, I mean, there's good TV and there's bad TV, but it is very subjective. It's very arbitrary. Something that's funny to me might not be funny to you. But, I mean, I'm looking at this list, and between honorable mentions and the draft itself, we hit a lot of these. So if you want to be upset, I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
They included a lot of animated ones in this list, too, which doesn't really count because, I don't know, I mean.
Someone's going to get upset that
It's not like there's a plot to Family Guy, right? I mean, there's a little bit of character development. Like, they add characters, remove characters here and there. I mean, they reference old jokes, but it's not really situational. So
Yeah, I mean, it's an animated sitcom, I guess, because it's continuous with the same characters over, and I would consider it an animated sitcom.
right.
We're doing
Cheers.
live action.
Yeah, just some of these
Cheers, no.
shows you may say missed the list.
Before my time.
We're in our mid-20s, so I'm sorry. You can blame my parents on that one. That I
Literally-
wasn't born when you were.
Yeah, literally the peak was, for me, was like Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Like, that was the oldest.
Yep. All right, well, that concludes it for another episode of It's a Bit, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure to support us by going to 10ktakesmn.com and reading our blogs. Going to the shop, we have a lot of awesome Vikings and Twin stuff there. As we mentioned, no more Wild stuff thanks to C&D. But for those who bought it, congratulations on getting it in before the cutoff. Also, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at 10K Takes. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Go to the Listen tab to listen to all the other pods in the network, which may or may not include the Gopher Hoops pod in the future. So you're going to want to listen next week for that. But, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of It's a Bit and supporting us here at 10,000 Takes. We'll see you next week.